Hello? Good morning, Morningham. 2 mornings. 2 of them. Good morning, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, ASCII. Why is the volume of the music not changing for me? Why is it so loud and it's in my brain? That's enough. That's enough of that, actually. Welcome back to the stream. Last night, I went to bed and I started coughing really violently, and I couldn't fall asleep for a while because I kept coughing, and I was like, oh no, am I sick? No, it's because I was reading so much yesterday. So, take two, baby. Here we go. Time to absolutely destroy my vocal cords for several hours. Good morning, Becca. Alex, welcome. Hello, gamers. Hello, fellow gamer. Hello, new initiate gamer. I can't believe this. Becca, thank you for the sip. We got immediate sips. It's so hot, it'll burn away all the pain that I'm experiencing. I'm not in pain, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh. All right, VTuber, get ready. Lots of lip syncing today. Lots of reading today. You know? How are we doing? How are we? Okay. No, good. Get tracked. All right. The game is opening, everyone. I should have shared the screen. There's a little creature on the opening screen for, like, I guess one of the companies that's responsible for this, and it's very good. Alex, I would love to do 3 of them. If you are in a situation where you would like to stream with me and Eva, or with just me, or anything, I would love to. Sound check. No. Wrong. Incorrect. Sound check. Okay. Thank you for the sip, Alex. All right, everybody. Welcome back. Alex, would you like a recap? As someone who just got here. I can't control the volume of my computer. It's whatever this is. Whatever this is. It's what, let me, okay, can I, all right, so, we are not yet a teenage exocolonist, we are a child exocolonist. So, we are a colony of people who have moved to an alien planet, to start a very queer communal lifestyle. Everybody's gay. Everybody's queer here in this world that we live in. We're currently 11 years old. Every month we can learn a new skill and gradually increase skills as we go. There's a bunch of different little kids that we are friends with and who grew up with us in the spaceship that we were on before we landed. And one of them, named Tammy, died last time. She got electrocuted and she died, and she was 10. And what a fun game that we're playing. So that happened. But then also, our character has dreams constantly that seem like visions of the future and feel like memories, and we're unsure why. And in one of those, we saw Tammy as an adult, I'm pretty sure, but she's dead. So who was Phone? And we keep having dreams about monsters breaking through the walls of the place that we live and destroying everything. And we just aren't telling anybody about that because people will think that we're crazy. So we're just going about our day, going to school and everything, sneaking out of the walls to go pet animals that are also aliens, but meanwhile having terrible nightmare visions of a giant amorphous blob just killing everyone that we love. So we're having fun. We're having a good time. I'm gonna disconnect my headphones and then plug them back. I know there's no sound, in case anybody was wondering. Can we... I did a bad job explaining because we haven't even really gotten very far in this game, technically. We've only been playing for like a year in game. We're still a child. So nothing has really happened except for Tammy's death. That was like a big thing. and the nightmares, but nothing has really come to pass yet. So we'll find out what happens. We are here in space, and we are queer. Morningham, correct. Our name is Sola. Our parents are gardeners, and they named us after a nightshade plant, but the name was so complicated I couldn't pronounce it, so I shortened it to Sola. So that is our name. We are a non-binary icon. Can I adjust the volume now? Yes. Wow, imagine that. Imagine a world. Now I have to reset the sound settings for you. What a stream that we're in right now. Oh yeah, and we chose a best friend as a child. You could pick like your childhood best friend, and our best friend is a horrible bitch that nobody likes because she's very full of herself and doesn't like to do anything. And her name is Mars. And right now we're becoming actually bestest friends with Cal, who's like a little softy boy. He's like a gardener too. He likes animals. He's very cute and sweet. And also we have a pet alien creature, and his name is Sir Hopsalot, and I got him at the end of the stream last time, and he's like a little mouse with 4 eyes. And that's real. Continue. Look at him! This is him. His name, he's got 2 eyes, but then these are also eyes. And when I pet him, he squeaks. So, these are our skills that we have currently. These are our parents. This is Mom and Dad. And this is Cal. Look at him, he's very cute. He's scooting an empty wheelbarrow through the gardens. Beep beep! I'm a garden bot, get out of my way! He's very cute. This is our childhood best friend who is not super nice. Okay, she's watching her holster intently and she shushes you. They're about to kiss. That's fucking fair. That's fucking fair, Mars. I will leave you alone. You deserve to be left alone. I respect you. Alright, what was I gonna do? I'm a winner and everybody wants to be my friend. Because I won the science fair. My toughness is pretty good. My biology's pretty good. I have no empathy for people. As a concept. What should I do? Just really go into animals? Go hard for combat training in animals and... I could leave again, but I don't want to get caught and have someone tell my mom that I was sneaking out, because then she'll be mad at me. Oh, bravery and toughness. I'm not very brave right now. Why does playing sport ball make me stressed? Oh, it just makes me less stressed than other things. Let's learn how to shoot a gun. Oh my god, the boy is here! Anemone's big brother Calm teaches karate techniques to the class. Kicks, punches, flips, all the cool stuff. He's much more calm than Security Chief Rhett and takes the time to connect with you instead of just relying on intimidation. You kind of wish he was the chief of security instead. Maybe one day. Rhett can't be the boss forever, right? Why do I read that like a threat? Kind of reading that like a threat. Calm organizes your first karate tournament. Well, he doesn't call it a tournament, it's more like an exhibition to show off how far everyone has come in their training. There's informal sparring matches and feats of strength like high kick challenges and breaking boards. Despite Calm's best intentions, Anemone is absolutely taking this like a competition. She takes her place next to you at the board breaking station and gives you a challenging look, tossing her unruly hair over her shoulder. Is it on? Let her show off. Oh, she didn't like that. But I was trying to be nice. You break your allotted boards, accept your praise from Calm, and leave the stage. Anemone looks disappointed that you didn't want to make it a competition. She wanted you to give it her all so she'd have someone to challenge. I'm sorry. 5 kudos if total equals goal. So if I get exactly 16. I haven't gone shopping yet. This is no good. This is no good. Oh yeah, because you count as every card type. Yeah, like it's not gonna... No, I want to get exactly 16. Oh, super goal, though. But my super goal... But my super goal... Morningham, welcome with your fixed car. Are you gonna vroom vroom? Oh, it's wet season. Oh god. Hi, bud. This sits before a collection of rocks grouped by color and texture. As you watch, he takes another rock from his pockets and stacks it with its kin. He looks up at you. What? You never seen rocks before? No, actually. How much friend are we dis? Like, not at all. Oh, Tammy's little thing is blacked out. It's not. Can I click calm? Oh, he's 17. Oh my god, there's pronouns for everybody, too. Very cute. She's a life support engineer. She's 36. I want to learn all this. 642, and they don't like kids very much. I got that impression. What about you, Congruence? You're an AI. Chief of Security. 51. My god. Very powerful. What about you, Hal? Teacher. Very good. Flulu. Mom is 45 and Dad is 43. Very cute. I kind of want to give you a present. Because I've been collecting stuff. I found a crystal cluster and you're playing with rocks right now. No? Do you want it? No. You didn't really want it. Okay, well, rude. Because it's a rock and you were playing with rocks and... Like, what the fuck? I have logs, though, so thank God. Okay. I'm going to... Oh, I closed this by accident. I'm gonna go outside. I'm sorry, this is our personality now. We're a rebel boy. We have our little guy with us. That's very powerful. Like, queer, pretty much every character is queer, and they can die. So, you know? Wow, we're getting very far away. We are just a little guy, and we are getting very far away from home. Oh! You hear screams from just over the next bluff. Human screams. The creature! Oh my god, is that Tonin? You crest the bluff to see Tammy's father, Chief Surveyor Tonin. He's being attacked by something you've never seen before. A four-legged creature with a huge mane of flowers, a mean reptilian face, and 2 wicked claws. Is this a manticore? You've heard of fierce creatures like this outside the walls, but you've never expected to ever see one up close. What's it doing so close to the colony? Uncle Tonin is pinned under one of the creature's pointed legs. He's struggling to get free, but the manticore keeps dancing around like it's playing with its food. You can hear it from here, growling and clicking its mandibles. But you snuck out. If you try to help, he's gonna know you snuck out, and your parents are gonna be so mad if they find you here. No, we're not gonna leave. Are you fucking kidding me? How brave are we? Not very. I don't want Mom to find out. She'll kill me. But Tonin will die. Let's try to distract it and see if we perish. Oh my god, our bravery is just like one short. You hide behind a tree and throw a rock at it. It bounces harmlessly off the manticore's flank and clatters to the ground. The manticore is undisturbed, which is more than you can say about yourself. Uncle Tonin shouts in pain. Get help. Oh no. Oh no. He died. He died. He died. He died. You turn and flee, beating your way through the undergrowth to the last place you saw the group from the expeditions. By the time you return with Assistant Surveyor Utopia and some others, Uncle Tonin is gasping his last breath and the manticore is nowhere to be seen. It's too late. The would-be rescuers fan out, scanning the tree line for signs the manticore might be on its way back to finish what it started. You run over to Uncle Tonin and fall to your knees at his side. He's hopelessly wounded. You'd apply pressure, but there's nothing left to apply pressure to. It's astoundingly horrible to see and to smell, searing into your memory forever like a flash grenade and leaving you lightheaded. He reaches clumsily towards you, his eyes glassy and unfocused. Tammy, he gurgles. Tammy? Tammy? Yeah, I'm here, Dad. The man is dying. The least you can do is pretend to be his daughter. You hold his bloody hand in both of yours and talk softly to him as he gasps in agony. It's easy to pretend to be Tammy. You both grew up under the same his watchful eye in the creche. You tell him sweet stories about your childhood until his look of pain and fear gives way to one of deep, eternal peace. The other adults come and guide you away from his body, bundling you into an expeditions vehicle. No one questions why you were out there. They're just glad you're still alive. Even if Uncle Tonin is dead. You're back! Wow, +2 bravery? That would have helped. That would have helped. I think. Oh my god, no one reacts to this. No one is reacting to this. Who the fuck are you? Oh, it's Utopia. You step cautiously through the colony gates. Chief Surveyor Utopia stops you with a hand on your forehead. Whoa there, scamp! They'd kill me if I let you out of the colony. Sorry, kiddo, you'll have to wait till you're old enough. I know it's hard. Who are you? Who? You're just some person. Okay, you're not related to anybody that I know. And, hey, Dad? Nobody is commenting on this. They're just like, wow. Uncle Tonin died. Fucking sucks, huh? I'm gonna go hang out on the wall. No? How do I hang out on the wall? Oh, this one. Relax on the walls. After the first attack on the colony, they added lookout towers to the walls. Now you have a place to hang out if you don't feel like working, and because it's all the way up here, no adults are going to come ask you to run any errands for them. On rainy days, you take shelter under the pavilions and listen to the pitter-patter of warm raindrops on the grass roof. You can do whatever you want. Ah, this is the life. Nice to help keep watch. We're traumatized now. Sometimes you offer to fill in on lookout duty so someone can go grab a meal. Maybe someday you'll be allowed to work full shifts as a lookout yourself. But you find that it's not as relaxing as you'd think. I mean, yeah. Oh, hey, Sola. This pops his head up to a nearby ladder and looks surprised to see someone else here. Do you mind if I sit here too? Heck yeah! Sure, there's plenty of room. The two of you dangle your feet off the side and watch the valley below. Just shuffles a little uncomfortably and doesn't say much. You wonder if this was his private spot to be alone before you discovered it. Probably. I'm gonna forget how to discover. So. Think about that. Okay, I need to... the fact that no one reacted to that happening... Like, a man just died and we're all just like, yeah. You know? Animal book! We can learn about animals. Can I give someone a cake? Oh my god, it's 50 kudos. I don't even have it. Oh my god. I was like, I've been saving up. No, I haven't, apparently. I want to be brave. I want to be brave. The trauma. Okay. This puts my bravery up by 2. How does defense training not... Okay. We're playing sports ball. Anemone meets you on the court. She's bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. My brother Calm is organizing the youth team, she tells you. Kombucha? His name is Kombucha? This is my favorite guy. Kombucha offers you a high-five in greeting, then tosses a sports ball your way. Let's start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and Anemone are team captains. Pick your team. Calm will fill in to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other side. He's so cute. This is the cutest boy I've ever seen in my life. We're gonna choose Cal because he's our boy, but... Mind if I play goalie, he asks? Sports ball is fun, but I don't really like to score against the other team. Anemone chooses Kombucha, of course. They bump fists. And then Mars, just the final pick. I'll play Spiker. Mars runs to take position. Seems like she's in it for the glory. Hopefully she'll want to share some of that with the rest of the team. Probably not. You face off, 3-on-3. Start the game. Okay, we got the creatures. Beep. Beep. It's not... Yeah, it's not gonna go... You know... Yeah, no, I want to win the sport. That's the thing that we have to understand, is that I want to win the sport, so... 1, 2, 2. I'm not doing a very good job. 2, 2, 2. Oh, good. Yeah, let's play this card. Really makes me feel good. Really good memories that I have here with my family. I won the game. Cal makes an amazing jump save, but is winded when the ball hits him in the chest. The score is tied, with Anemone and Calm putting the pressure on. Then blam, you score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. Oh, I'm playing sports ball. +1 bravery. +2 bravery. Oh, so +3 bravery. Please make me brave. The thing is, I feel like being a coward is a good... Being a coward pacifist is kind of a good character arc, you know? We want to know things, but we're like the barest minimum of brave. What's up, bud? I love you. It's easier to read when it's dark. There's less glare. Oh, because you guys have screens. I was like, uh-huh. Alright, I'm gonna go to biology class. You're bringing supplies to medbay when you see something unusual. Tangent curled up on a bench, her head pillowed on a rolled-up lab coat. She's fast asleep. You stop and stare. You never see Tang sleeping. She's always so busy. You're surprised she even has time to nap. You turn to leave her in peace when you bump into Anemone. Whoa, Anemone says. She hardly ever sleeps, like just a couple hours a night. Is she sick or something? You look back at Tangent snoozing peacefully. Oh, she doesn't have to sleep as much. That's her augment. I'm so jealous of her genetic enhancement, Anemone says, rubbing at one of the scales sprouting on her jawline. She hardly needs to sleep at all. She's probably stayed up all night studying for this morning's history test. There was a test? No, we're a brain child. Tang's holopalm beeps a soft alarm. She sits up and stretches, looking totally refreshed and alert. She sees you watching her and looks annoyed. Just a power nap, she says. No reason to gawk. Card becomes mental. Okay. One. Make them zeros. 1, 2, 5. Not really ideal. Oh, unchangeable. Right, okay. $18. I'll just win. I don't need to super win every time. It's been a quiet glow, but the grim, surreal darkness of the season reminds you of last year's violence, and also the violence of last month when Uncle Tonin got ripped to shreds in front of you, but the game won't say that. As the month wears on, you overhear arguments at dinner, adults worrying that an attack is still coming, and others who think the first one was a fluke. Surveyors mention seeing new tracks in the forest, but are shushed so people don't panic. The gates are closed. You drill emergency procedures, filing soundlessly from the classroom to the creche to hide under tables, waiting for the sirens to call the all clear. You drill and prepare and worry, but nothing happens. Then, just as glow is starting to wane, the toxic purple spill of the wormhole fading as the suns almost rise past the horizon again, the sirens start. You're reading a holo novel in bed when you hear them, followed by the stomp of boots down the hallway outside your quarters. An alert flashes on your holopalm. Shelter in the creche, this is not a drill. You get another message from your dad. Me and Mom are gonna stay in the greenhouses. We're safe. Just follow Auntie Anne to the creche and wait for us, okay? Don't worry, we're way more prepared than we were last year. Love you, stay safe. If anything happens to Dad, it's over. Like, you could go to the creche where you belong, or you could follow the security guards and see what's happening at the gates. Well, I'm trying to decide how much I want our trauma to, like, affect us. Like, how I want it to affect us. You enemy! Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Hope you're having a good day. Like, did not being able to save Uncle Tonin make us terrified of everything, or extremely proactive? We're pretty tough. And we know biology. I'm having a blast with this game. I love it so much. I can't believe I waited this long to get it. I'm so happy. Gremlin child? Violence. You sneak out of the living quarters and head towards the gate. You're immediately spotted by Security Chief Rhett, who stops what he's doing to yell at you and gesture angrily. What the hell are you doing out here? This is no place for kids. Get your ass back inside. Try to help. Gremlin child. Violence. 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 Why did it go down? Oh, it sets neighbors to 1. I don't want that. Why do I have you? I hate you. Everything about you is terrible. 7. I can be violent. Violence. You stick around the outside of the skirmish at the gate, throwing rocks and yelling at any creature that gets too close. You're not sure if you make a difference, but the good news is, at least you're not injured. When the dust clears, Rhett spots you hiding in the shadows and personally escorts you back to your quarters where your mom and dad penalize you for disobeying them. When things have calmed down, you overhear your parents talking. I'm not going to be the first to congratulate Rhett, but all of his defensive improvements were exactly what we needed, your mom grumbles. Ugh, he's going to be insufferable at the next council meeting. Your dad pats her head. Credit where credit's due, Flulubelle, he says, and she smiles despite herself. It could have been worse. They're in love. Your mom nods, and they both sit in silence where your dad speaks again. Poor Hal, he sighs. What a way to go. Professor Hal? Your parents startle. Hey, Pumpkinhead, your dad says. Yeah, they're going to announce it in a few hours after everyone's had a chance to calm down. He didn't make it. What happened? Don't worry about that, your mom replies, shooting your dad a look to keep him from talking. It's adult stuff, okay? You guys won't be able to go into the engineering wing for a little bit, not until it's decontaminated. Decontaminated? What happened to him? You curl up quietly to think. Professor Hal can't just die. He can't just be gone. He's your teacher. And the engineering wing is where you take classes. You can't imagine something bad happening in such a safe place. You fall asleep thinking for sure there's been some mistake. Hey, like, at least we're acknowledging his death. Oh my god, I'm 12 now. I got some cards. I'm still pumped from the last attack. Hey, Professor Hal died. Why are we pumped? Hi, Cal. Oh, he doesn't... Okay. Well... Why is... No one acknowledges this. When Tammy died... I mean, I get it, Tammy was like a child and our friend. But, like, I feel like Professor Hal dying is also cause for people to be like, I'm kind of fucked up. This is scrolling through a novel on his hollow palm, completely checked out of this world around him. He startles when you tap his shoulder. Gee Sola, he grumbles, gesturing to close his novel. You catch a few lines about a dragon before the screen disappears. Dis flips up his collar and turns away. Can't you tell when someone's busy? Dis, you know what? I really love you. You're such a little fucking demon creature. You're such a goblin. Combat. You work on your flips and throws in self-defense class and how to use someone else's momentum against them. Most of the people you're practicing on are adults, so it's a little intimidating at first, but soon you realize that being smaller is actually an advantage. Use your advantages, Rhett says. Well, having a lower center of balance works in your favor. Oh, we're locked. Okay. That's okay. Two of them. Two of them. Two of them. What if I do this? Fuck yeah! Rainbow! Combat! Combat! You've been having weird dreams as usual. They seem to get worse around glow. You wake from a dream that has tears drying on your face, that you can't remember why, just that you were terrified. Whatever it was, it felt real enough that for a moment you just lie in bed with your eyes closed and try to calm your breathing. You blurrily rub your eyes and... Surprise! Oh, it's your birthday! Your dad leaps under your bed and gives you a big cuddle. Happy birthday, little tomato head. 12 years old. Wow, can you believe it? We chose... We chose Mars as our childhood friend because we thought that she would, like, protect us from bullies and be, like, strong. And instead, now she's, like, the person we're least friends with because she's just mean. And we were like, oh. Well. No, your mom answers for you, laughing as she hands you your presents. It was just yesterday Antecedent was showing me how to change your diaper. Because it's your birthday, your parents have brought in food from the canteen so you can all eat together on your bed. As you stuff your face with savory tofu chunks, you open your present. Which one's your favorite? Oh. It's gotta be a stuffed xenofauna. Look at him. I taught the nanoprinter the pattern based off of pictures from expeditions, your dad says, watching you play with it. They call it a spectroraptor, he continues. See, it looks like it's wearing glasses on top of its 5 eyes. They said that's because its lenses are outside of its eyeballs. Isn't that wild? Nothing like that on Earth. As your dad clears away the wrapping paper and the dishes from breakfast, your mom folds her hands on the table and gives you a serious look. Uh-oh. So, she says, we've been here 2 years now. I know your dad and I have always said you're in charge of your schedule, but we've been keeping an eye on you. A loving eye, your dad interrupts, stuffing wrapping paper into the recycler pickup bin. A trusting, gentle eye. You've been staying active, your mom continues. That's great. A healthy body's a healthy mind, and you'll need both in life. Your dad joins you again. So, it's time to start thinking about how you're going to contribute to the colony when you're older. With the look on your face, he laughs. Don't worry, we're not going to make you get a job right now. We're just asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh. A farmer? A teacher? A parent with 10 kids? Absolutely not. Captain of a sports ball team? A monster hunter? Governor of Vertumna? I want to be a farmer. I want to be a rancher. I want to kiss the creatures. But do I now? Has my priority changed now that I witnessed the terrible demise that no one acknowledges in the colony? Oh my god, my voice is already dying. It hasn't even been an hour. Don't worry about it. Becca, thank you for the sip. Thank you for many sips. Wow. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Vote now in the comments. Do you think we want to be a farmer or a monster hunter? It's one of the two. Those are the two options for us, I think. Monster hunter? Immediate violence. We have to avenge Tonin. It's true. Your mom laughs. You've been playing too many Hollow games, Sola, she says. Hunting monsters. I hope it doesn't come to that here. Mom, do you not know about Uncle Tonin? He got ripped to shreds. She rubs her leg under the table, where the prosthetic attaches to her bone. Just remember, being a hero isn't all it's cracked up to be. Ah. Well, your mom starts to get up. I'm sure your friends all want to wish you a happy birthday. She stops and snaps her fingers. Oh, you might not have considered a career as a depot clerk, but Al and Bernie mentioned their daughter Mars is working there, and she needs some help. Now that people can freely order luxuries, it's pretty busy there. Sure beats shoveling dirt, your dad laughs. If you don't take that job, you tell Mars I'll be right there. Your mom rolls her eyes and smiles. Monster Hunter like my first ever stream game. That's what it's all about. It's my birthday. Fuck you. No one will wish me a happy birthday. We could be a farmer or a monster. We could be both. Why can't we, like, get up early in the morning, take care of the animals, and then go out and shoot animals with a gun? You know? I need to be braver. I'm, like, not brave at all, but, like, is sports the only way to get brave? Feels kind of weird. I guess I can go outside again after what happened last time. Yay! Monster hops a lot. Another one! Oh, they're surrounding me. Defend myself from the creatures. 10 or 8. Yeah, it's not. Next round. 5, 2, 2. 0. The thing is, okay. That is better. Next round. We're so strong and powerful. We're so strong and powerful. Cute little critters kick you, but you kick back. They're so small! You sent them scurrying back off to pick on smaller creatures than you. No! New perk. Oh, because we reached toughness level. That's what these little bumps are. +1 to physical cards and okay, good. Oh, the creature. You walk into a clearing and immediately stop in your tracks. There's a Unisaur here. You've seen them before, but they still fill you with a sense of awe. Let's perceive. Oh, now it's a 2. That's great, actually. Why would I want this? Eva, welcome. 2 people have died. In the span of... How long's it been? Like, it was like 40 minutes? 2 people died. So... We're doing well. Super, super goal. Super goal. Unbelievable goal. Uncle Tonin and Professor Hal died terribly. As you settle in to watch it from behind a strand of mush trees, the Unisaur looks up towards you, startled by your movement. Oh, we already did this. We just hold perfectly still and then it pees. Good. Yay! We're so happy to be here. Oh, Dis. You find Dis sitting on a large flat rock on a hilltop, eating a sandwich and looking totally at home, far from the colony walls. Join him quietly. You sit down next to Dis and get out your own lunch. Some soy cheese cubes and crackers from the cafeteria. You listen to the jungle sounds and think how nice it is just to be free and in the open and not confined to a tiny box hurtling through space. Then quite out of the blue, the rock you're both sitting on stands up and starts to walk down the hill. Okay. You crouch and look over the edge of the rock. You're a couple meters off the ground, balancing on spindly legs like a spider's. 8, 10 of them, evenly spaced. Oh my god! What a powerful... You realize the rock also has eyes at regular points, which you'd mistaken for shiny black pebbles embedded in the stone. One of them swivels up to stare at you. You gulp and try not to scream. Dis gets shakily to his feet, trying to keep his balance as the creature under you slowly clambers forward. He grabs your hand to help you up. Try to be brave. Brave boy, brave boy, brave boy. Okay. 2, 2, wait. And then if I do 10, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm just like, hell yeah, dude. Use your new trauma to win challenges, but then also the trauma will get you. So... The fact that Mars is like taking away my money that I used to shop when she's so obsessed with shopping feels so wrong to me. You swallow hard to control your fear. Barely. Actually, this is biologically fascinating. You're too busy taking mental notes about this creature's anatomy and behavior to worry about your own safety. It totters along, using its long legs to pick its way through the bushes in uneven terrain. It must have had its legs curled up under its body earlier to perfectly camouflage itself as a rock. Can I see it? After a minute, the creature crouches down to look at something, and the two of you jump off. You're impressed that Dis kept his cool, and you tell him so. Actually, he says, I was kind of freaking out inside. You laugh and say you were too. It's funny, Dis might suck with people, but is kind of a badass when it comes to non-people things. Yeah, he's a creature. The fuck is this? What's that fucking noise? Oh, we're doing this again. Let's plant something. New perk! Native botany! Unlock xenobotany research in geoponics. Fuck yeah? Well, now I have to go home, because that's rad as hell, actually. What's up, bud? Why didn't you come with me? What's wrong? Sir Hops a lot? My boy! Go home. Go home. How's my stress? 80? Oh, what's up, Dis? Oh, look at me, so cute. You slip through the colony gates, feeling the breeze from the mushroom forest ruffle your hair. You look around for Dis, but he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe he went to class today? Probably not. As you're about to return to the colony, you hear what sounds like crying coming from one of the expedition vehicles. You'll pull back the tarp that keeps it from being blanketed with fungal spores and find Dis curled up in the cabin. He wipes his eyes and turns away. Go away, he mutters. Are you okay? I'm fine. Dis sniffles. Just leave me alone. This is a great hiding place. Coming in! You pull back the tarp and slide into the cabin of the vehicle. Dis continues to cry, but softer now, as if he's trying to stop but can't quite manage it. His lower lip trembles. You're lucky you have family who cares about you, he sniffles. My mom is gone and my sister thinks I'm stupid. Dis is quiet for a long time, almost long enough that you begin to consider actually leaving him alone. But before you do, he speaks. I'm never gonna go back to class, he says. I hate being around other people, and I hate doing schoolwork, and I double hate it when the teacher asks me questions. I'm not Tang. I don't know stuff like she does. Dis kicks at the console of the vehicle a few times. Bang, bang, bang. Then bursts out into tears again, pulling at his hair. I'm just dumb, okay? People ask me questions and I freeze up and I say something stupid, then everyone laughs at me, even Tang. Tang laughs the hardest. She's embarrassed by me. I know she is. Today she just told me people would like me more if I stopped being so sensitive and immature. You folks who use their hearts too. This turns away from you. See, even you think I don't use my brain. Everyone thinks Tang's better than me. Okay. This wraps his arms around his legs and hides his face in his knees. I hate her, he mutters. Everyone thinks she's so smart, but she's just a big meanie. I hate everyone here. I hate being here. I just want to be left alone. That's okay, bud. When you go feral, like, you know, I'll be around. Hey kiddo, your dad says, looking up from his work desk where he's dissecting a huge bell-shaped flower. Can you hand me that separator? I've really got my hands in things here. You hand him the tool, which he uses to wedge open some sort of weird stoma-like opening inside the bell. Gooey purple nectar oozes out and pools on the desk. Whoa, he exclaims, thought I'd drain this little beauty. Can you, get a towel, I guess? You help him mop up the flower juice. Yuck! It's sticky and smells like rotting vegetables. When you're done, he looks at you with pride. You know, I've been thinking of getting one of you kids to come help me out with researching the native plants, he says. You think you might be able to break off some time to help your old man in the lab? I know you've been studying biology, he adds. It's not as glamorous as genetic research with instants, but it is important. He grins. Let me talk to your mom about it tonight before you go telling her. She's not a fan of alien plants, you know. If it were up to her, we'd fill these greenhouses with earth plants and nothing else, but there's got to be more on this planet that we can cultivate. If you find any cool plants while you're exploring, bring them here and we can take a look at them. Dad, are you just acknowledging that, like, I explore outside? How much stress does this give me? 10? Plus organizing. Oh. I haven't even looked at this as a concept. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Your dad introduces you to the little lab they have set up in one of the greenhouses. It's incredible, he says, gesturing all around him. We're surrounded by alien flora and we know practically nothing about it. What's edible? What's medicine? What can we make fibers with or build with or use in ways we haven't thought of yet? He beams at you. You and me, we're gonna find out, my little potato. Your dad directs you to a research bench, and here's where you'll be working. The bench is buried under samples and beakers and weird-looking alien sprouts. More than just a simple table, the analysis bench is covered with buttons and little holes you could put things into. Stick something in a hole. Yup. You put one of the seedlings into a small slot in the table. A little door slides shut, then reopens. A loud brrr noise startles you. Oh no, you broke it! Your dad laughs. Nah, just kidding. You're fine. Good instincts, kiddo. Find the on switch. There is no on switch. Stop touching things. Go ahead and mess around. Do you want... Okay, press buttons at random. You mash all the buttons at the table until... Yo, 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 kiddo! It's congruence. The friendly ship's computer beams at you from her own holoscreen set into the bench. Of course she's here. She's the guardian of all knowledge in the colony, after all. I thought it was just going to say, of all knowledge, period. You wonder who she got yo, yo, yo from. Your dad laughs. Don't tell anyone, but congruence is the real brains of the operation, he confesses, though it's not like it's a secret. She'll make sure we don't do anything super dangerous, which means you and I get to focus on experimentation. If you follow the rules and stick to what you already know, you won't learn anything new, so don't be afraid to try stuff. You bring your mushwood samples into the lab. You're going to study these and revolutionize the use of mushwood lumber. Maybe. Study this. Mushwood. Yeah. You examine the mushwood under a microscope and take notes on its cellular structure. Part of the reason it needs to be harvested in wet is because the cells get so saturated that they lose structural integrity and turn to, well, mush during glow. Studying the exact process by which the cells take in water leads to a breakthrough. It might be possible to hack the process and stop the mushwood trees from taking on too much water during wet. If they don't take on as much water, they won't take as long to dry. You should be able to develop a spray that the loggers can apply to the fruiting body of the mushwood, the part that sticks out above ground, to close its pores. Reducing negative pressure in the body should stop it from pulling so much water from the mycelial network underground. This is great! Logging will be much more efficient now. Great! 4? Little man. Okay. There's no gems, my bud. I'm sorry. 0, 2, 3, 5, 5. Win. Holy shit, so much biology. Oh my god. I am a biology genius. Egg. Egg, 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 egg. Okay, no one has anything to say to me. I have to go relax, or I will die. Let's hang out with Cal in the park with my boy. You and Cal walk through the park, a special place set aside for growing ornamental plants from Earth. It was grown from a precious seed bank preserved for over 20 years aboard the Stratospheric before your mother started planting them here in Vertumna. Almost nothing here is grown for food, though many of them are technically edible. It's so green here, Cal says, stopping to smell a bush of fist-sized red flowers with velvety petals. Wow, they smell so sweet. My mom worked really hard on this. Your mom brought these flower seeds from Earth and somehow found time to cultivate them here, even though there was so much work to do on the farm. It just goes to show that there's a lot about your mom that you still don't know. It's so peaceful. Cal breathes deep, a funny smile on his face. It really is. This is one of my favorite places in the whole colony. You can really feel the love in every plant. One pretty white flower in particular is flourishing here, the Astrantia, your mother's favorite. It seems to be growing faster than even native plants do, covering the paths and bluffs with tiny white stars. You practically have to push clumps of it aside in some places just to make sure you don't crush any. Good thing it's so beautiful. Yay, I want to forget giggling. I've never giggled. I need to sip. Your dad comes back from work one day looking seriously under the weather. He's pale with deep circles under his eyes and he keeps sneezing. It's fine, he insists. It's just all this pollen in the air. It's gunking up the old air tubes. Do you remember hay fever, Flulu? We always got it back on Earth, too. Your mom frowns and crosses her arms. We did, she agrees. So why isn't it bothering me? You're a lot tougher than me, sweet pea, your dad says, and your mom rolls her eyes. I'm sure I just have to get used to it like you did, he continues. Maybe I'll go for a stroll outside the gates later, really get a good lungful of the stuff. Dad? I'll feel bad for a few weeks, but after that I'll be fine. Dad? Your mom raises both eyebrows. Outside the gates, you. Your dad shrugs, then he falls into a fit of sneezing and can't answer. Your mom directs him to go lie down in your bed. You need rest, not machismo. I don't have achoo! Your dad sneezes. The macho bone in my body, foo-foo. Foo-foo? And I have to fertilize the corn and the pixie beans this week. Uh-huh, your mom grunts. Your dad pulls a handkerchief from his pocket and sneezes into it a few times. Big, yelling honk sneezes that echo through your whole quarters. He pulls it away from his face and you can tell that something's wrong. Oh. Huh, your dad says weakly, holding the handkerchief away from his face. It's bright fuchsia pink and glittering in the light. That's weird. Then his eyes roll back in his head, his knees buckle, and your mom yells for you to call instance. I swear to God, game. Chief Engineer Instance takes your dad's vitals and gives him a cursory look over, but she seems satisfied with what she sees without having to do a thorough examination. The explorers have started calling this the shimmer, she says, shining a light down your dad's throat. He's looking a little better, but not much. It's an airborne environmental toxin likely in the pollen fog. Will he be okay? It doesn't seem to cause long-term damage to the body, Instance explains. She gestures in the air, making notes in her hollow eye that only she can see. I've been tracking its effects for 3 seasons now. The toxin is flushed out of the body after 3 to 5 days, and it's not contagious. She looks down at your father. What that means for you, Geranium, since you're particularly susceptible to toxin, you should be taking better pains to avoid exposure. If you must go outside during pollen, use a respirator. His name is Geranium? Your dad smiles weakly. You got it, boss, he says. Your mom smiles and puts her hand over his. As your literal boss, I'm ordering you not to come into work for the rest of the week, she says. You're on strict bed rest. She leans in to touch her forehead to his. They stay like that, smiling with relief. Even after 1 day of bed rest, your dad is looking a lot better. He's clearly anxious to get back into the fields. You're gonna love this new crop, Sola. It's called a pixie bean. They glow in the dark. He's already pulling on his boots. The fields look so beautiful at night. I'm happy that we finally found something that would actually grow here that isn't soy, and more soy. I'm happy too. Please don't die. That was such an ominous thing. It's like, yeah, I haven't noticed any long-term effects on the body yet. Like, yet was the implication there. What's up, Tang? Your holopump pulses with a message from Tang. Hello, Sola. If you're not occupied, could I ask you for your assistance in the lab? Thank you in advance. Tangent. Typical Tang, but her asking for help is something so rare that you can't help but head over right away. You find her hunched over a spectrometer, making notes on a holoscreen. Oh, you're here, she says, blinking rapidly. She looks like she's been awake for days, wrinkled, a little shiny, and with the wild-eyed look of someone who needs a cup of blep tea? Blep. Came as soon as I could. I'm researching the shimmer, the respiratory illness some people report during pollen, she says. I'm loath to admit it, but I need your assistance. She takes 4 vials with swabs inside and puts them into your hands. I need recent saliva samples from both you and your father, she says. There must be a reason why he's so susceptible to the shimmer and you're not. You share half of your genetic code with him. There must be some marker we can compare between the 2 samples. Then she continues, pulling another vial from a rack of test tubes. Administer this to yourselves, wait 3 days, and take the samples again. The test should be able to determine if anything in your body chemistry has changed. Tang looks at you very seriously, cutting through her biliary expression. There's something going on here, she whispers. Something really, really big. I've begun to realize this is about more than just curing a disease. She squeezes your hand so hard it almost hurts. Unlocking the secrets of the shimmer, who it affects and why? It could lead to a greater understanding of all life on Vertumna. And knowledge is more than power, Sola. It's control. Are you okay? You seem unhinged. Tang blinks again. I'm perfectly fine, she says dismissively. This is the face of complete concentration and focus. I'm in the zone, Sola. Okay, I'll do it. Oh, +1 shimmer cure? This is a thing? No! Oh, God. I know the shimmer's the name of the fucking nightmare thing from Annihilation, and I hope it doesn't cause any weird bear people. Timmy, I'm having a great time. So many people have died, and by that I mean 2 people have died today, and Dad is ill with a horrible disease, but, you know, we're doing great. I'm feeling good and positive. Uncle Tonin got ripped to shreds by a manticore, and then Professor Hal died mysteriously. And we don't know why or how, because we're 12 and no one will tell us anything, so. I'm sorry, I need to sip. Holy shit. Okay. Thank you, Tang says. I've been researching so hard I think my eyes are going to fall out of my head. And for what? Well, for the end of a debilitating disease is a pretty good reason, but Tang just shakes her head at herself before you can answer. We're at a disadvantage here, she mutters. We're fighting blind. We need to understand this planet if we're going to get it under our control. I don't like your vibe, Tang. Can I just say? Her vibe is atrocious. Her vibe is like, I'm going to take over the world, and it's like, relax. I can help him with the animals now? Oh my god, I can help with the animals. Who do I like? I mean, I like pretty much everyone right now. I like Cal. I like Dis. He's a little guy, and I like him. Anemone's cute. Anemone's brother's very cute. Mars is Mars, and Tang is Tang, you know? This is so sad, and I think that he needs to kiss an alien. So, he's like, I don't belong here, and it's like, okay, then go. You spot your dad catching a break inside the geoponic stones. Okay, no wait, wish I could take my eyes out of my head, wash them off, and pop them back in. Help him with the animals. Your dad's working with the float cows. One of them is sick and isn't producing enough urine as ballast, and it keeps wanting to float away. Your dad's building a spike so that he can tie her down until she feels better. Oh, there she is! You hold onto the leash, feeling like a little kid with a balloon. A big, woolly, gassy balloon. It looks down at you with placid, unblinking eyes. You can see yourself refracted in them. Weird. Neat. What a good boy. Okay. I need more combat. I'm almost... Defense training. There's so many people training in self-defense today that you have to break into the stations. What do you want to work on today? This. Anemone's been studying videos of other martial arts and wants to learn some sweet dance moves to show off in class. She needs a partner and you jump at the chance. Rhett watches you both, a skeptical look on his face. What does this have to do with self-defense, he says. The point of all this isn't to have fun. It's to learn how to not die. Whatever, you're too busy learning how to do a sick handspin to pay attention. He rolls his eyes and stalks away, muttering about how you're wasting your time. You feel more in control of your body, though, which is undoubtedly going to help you in an actual fight. Fuck yeah. I do enjoy not dying, like, as a concept. Oh, I can get very stressed if I choose to. I won't. Oh my god, I leveled up my combat. What did I unlock? New cards in the depot. I can buy a weapon? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Can I buy a gun as a 12-year-old? No! No! Don't allow this! Okay, wait, I wanted to... This is too many fucking cards. Okay, I like this guy. The thing is, I have to keep my hot buy equipped. He's my boy. Okay, we're sneaking out. I need to see more animals. I need to witness the creatures. If possible. It probably isn't possible. What's over there? What's on the other side? Is there a creature? No, it's just... Okay, well. Oh yeah, pat the mushrooms. Nope, this way. You spot a suspiciously regular amount of dirt. Maybe something's buried there? Dig it up immediately. You fearlessly dive in, digging with your gloved hands. Turns out it's a pile of dirt, but I was really brave, so... That's really important to me. Oh no, I don't. I want to keep the forest wild. Why are there no creatures? Plants grow faster in pond. They've choked the path here. Push your way through. $15, $14, Win. Oh, you find a good stick and whack, whack, whack your way through the tangle of new growth. Take that, nature. Getting lost in the fog. I hope not. I'm really going crazy. Just relax. Oh, my stress went away. Okay, good. I have so many medicinal roots. The muck hides interesting bugs and other treasure for those willing to put their hands down the right holes. Peek inside that hole, baby. Look closer. You stuck your hand in enough holes to know this one seems occupied. Hello? You shove your hand in the hole and rummage around. Ouch, you got bit right through your ding-dang glove. No, I wanted to pet the creature. Not yet. I'll stop when I'm as stressed as I can physically be. You come across a float cow that seems to be ill. She's floating upside down a meter off the ground, kicking her segmented legs into the air periodically as though trying to right herself. Her slitted eyes look at you imploringly. She makes a helpless, lowing noise and tries to flip over, but her ratio of gas to liquid must be unbalanced. Figure out what's wrong with her. Take a closer look at the float cow. You've heard they float using a certain ratio of liquid to gas in their membranous bladder, so after some consideration, you figure out that the bladder on her back must be too full. Milk the float cow. It's hard to milk a float cow that's upside down. She struggles and kicks her legs as you try to flip her over long enough to get through the udders, but thanks to a combination of might and empathy, you manage to calm her down. She's still sick. Milk's supposed to collect in her lower udder, not her gas bladder, but at least she's balanced now, and she has a chance to get well on her own. Yeah. She's just a little god. Wow. I'm glad that she's safe. I know, I'm going home. You don't need to tell me. Go home. Oops, I meant go home. Go home. Go home. I love how my friendship with Dis goes up, even if I literally do not speak to him. You know? What is this? New plant just dropped. I know, I'm gonna go hang out on the wall. Relax. Relax. Oh no, I had to go to this. I always forget. Relax on the walls. You're sort of half-heartedly scouting by walking along the walls when you come across what looks like a little memorial shrine tucked into an alcove. In it are drawings and mementos for the people who've passed away, including Tammy. You're struck once again by the senselessness of her death, letting the grief wash over you as just as strong as the day she died. It's hard to believe that you came this far, through space, only to lose a friend in such a sudden and pointless way. You leave the shrine as is. What a relaxing month! It's time for the 3rd annual Vertumnalia Festival! You gather with your family in the colony square. Everyone takes a seat as Governor Udicott approaches the stage. I'm gonna take a sip. She folds her hands and serenely addresses the crowd. What a pleasure to address you all today as your governor, she says, looking as pleased as she ever does, which is not at all. In under 3 years, we built a colony of which we can be truly proud. While we've suffered hardships and losses, we remain standing, as always, looking forward to the future we are building together. Let us use this midsummer festival as a time to reflect on our many blessings, Udicott continues. Fresh water, good food, healthy children, and a strong community. Udicott bows her head, but first let us remember Professor Halitosis, who guided our children and kept our engines running for so many years. Chief Engineer Instance will be filling in, with help from our ship's AI congruence, until someone can take up the mantle that rested so easily on Hal's broad shoulders. Oh my god, we're acknowledging melatonin! His name is Professor Bad Breath. Do you have a problem with that, ASCII? Everyone here is named after either a plant or a medical condition or kombucha. We also recognize the passing of our dear friend Chief Surveyor Melatonin. Known for his gentle nature and his curious spirit, Tonin joins his daughter, Aspartame. That's what Tammy's name was? Aspartame? And his partner, Lavandula, in the world of our memories. In his place, we welcome our youngest council member ever, Utopia, representing expeditions. Udicott invites the rest of the council to stand and be recognized among the crowd, including your mom, who huffs in annoyance. When the applause dies down and the council sits, Utopia remains standing. Actually, Auntie Udicott, y'all mind if I just make a quick announcement? Udicott nods and Utopia clears her throat. I just wanted to say thanks to y'all who are trusting me with this job, she says, her clear voice ringing out over the crowd. A cheer rises from expeditions, and she motions for them to quiet down. Uncle Tonin's left some big shoes to fill, and well, I'm gonna give it my best. We're fixing to get to the bottom of what we're calling the shimmer, the sniffles folks have been getting during pollen, Utopia continues. Until we do, please keep on wearing your mask when the pollen's thick, and let the doc know if you're under the weather. Okay. I can't join the science fair anymore. My reasoning's not high enough. She bends down to hug the governor as she leaves the stage. Thank you, Utopia, Udicott says warmly, and thank you to the rest of the council for their service. Live music starts playing, and Udicott smiles. And now it's time for games and feasting. The crowd disperses toward the feasting table, clearing the area for chairs so the children's competitions can be held. Which will you do this year? The fucking bot triathlon. Absolutely. Calm keeps adding complexity to his bot wrestling game. Last year was the holo obstacle course, and this year there's an accuracy challenge. I love the lore that we've somehow ended up with, where, like, we were born kind of a brainiac, and then just became violent. Like, that we are growing up. You do change as you grow, you know? You don't need to stay consistent from the ages of 10 to 12. Violence. Sing 3 baskets and you can move on to the next stage, Com says, unveiling something with a flourish. A vacuum-bot with a basket tied to its head. It chirps as it stomps back and forth and the crowd cheers. You're competing against Anemone and Cal. You notice they're not racing around together. Cal's playing with the vacuum-bot and Anemone is staying next to her brother. You're up first. Oh, the creature! Creature, creature, creature. Creature, creature, creature. 15. 15. Okay. 5, 3, 3, 2, 1. Crushed. Destroyed. Annihilated. I'm sorry, did I lose toughness? Did it just... What did it... I got a -1 to something. Whatever. You thought the accuracy portion would be harder. Those vacuum bots can be fast when they're on a mission. This one seems to get bored waiting for you to complete the obstacle course, so by the time you line up to take your shots with the sports ball, it stopped running around and is taken to carefully vacuuming the dirt under its feet. You easily sink your baskets and move on to the wrestling competition and win by a huge margin. Anemone pouts and stomps over to Com, yelling that it wasn't fair that you got it easy. She refuses to speak to you until Com sits you both down and makes you shake hands, pointing out that Anemone also got hit by 5 holo obstacles and couldn't have won anyway. Anemone begrudgingly accepts your win. Oh, I lost a Kudo, yeah. I lose Kudos all the time because of fucking Mars. I want to forget. Let me forget my childhood best friend. You know? Let me just... The fucking trauma... That card keeps coming up, and she takes my money from me every time I use it. I, like, drop $1. After the festivities, you take time off for a much-needed and very relaxing break. Your dad sets up a slip and slide through the colony square, and everyone takes turns sliding on their stomachs and spraying water at each other. It's a lot of fun! You can feel your worries floating away in the hot dust suns. I'm sure that everything will continue to be fine. Friendship ended with Mars. Now Float Cow is my best friend. That's absolutely what I want. I would give anything to just be best friends with a Float Cow and a Float Cow alone. What's up, bud? God, I want to get my animals up enough. I want to get it up enough. Alright, we're gonna keep doing combat then until I get animals up, and then maybe we'll focus on something else. Anemone loves to train. She says it helps clear her mind. If that's the case, she must love having an empty mind, and no one else trains as hard or as long as Anemone. Well... Beep. 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 I helped with animals, Timmy, actually. I did. I just want to get the perk. I think I need to get to 30? I want to know what the perk is. Because maybe the perk is, like, helping on the ranch, and then I don't have to immediately learn how to kill, just to know how animals work. You know? I just need to go to explore and, like, see if I can find an animal that way. Killing's a good skill. You work on your flips and throws in self-defense class and how to use some. Okay, we did it. We got that one already. Creature. 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 Lose a kudos again. Thanks, Mars. Fucking me over no matter what. Oh, it's wet. Okay. Oh, bobber fruit. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna go outside and pray. You're strolling along the path when suddenly everything goes quiet. The wilderness is never quiet. There's always insect noises, the chirping of reptiles, even the wind in the trees has gone entirely silent. There's something unnatural about this place. Continue. Hmm. 2, 2, 3? 12, 14, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5. 225, 223, 225. Okay. Timmy, I forgot you had a spreadsheet. I am filled with unbelievable joy. Win. You walk through the quiet area, the noise starts up again. The mystery will have to remain unsolved. Spooky? Yeah, it's pretty spooky. The planet is full of all sorts of bugs. Little wrigglers, hopping beetles, shining creepers, and snaily things. Oh my! You crouch in the long grasses and explore a square meter in great detail. There's so much to see, you don't even know what any of these things are. They might not even have names yet. Touch one! You touched it! The creatures! No. No. Come on, bud. Oh, jump over the stream. We're gonna be so brave and so powerful and so strong. 13, 12, 11, yeah. Well, this sucks. My super goal! No, it's fine. I don't want to get insanely stressed out, so... There's no little guys anywhere. I mean, there was a bug and I touched it, so I guess that's pretty good. Go home, we're getting very stressed. A little more combat. We're almost good. Oh my god, we're almost... Just like 2 more combats. Get to work. Ooh, +1 for each gem card. Yeah, stays a 3. Okay. 5, 5, 6, 1. Win. Lose a kudos every day of my life. Oh my god. How much stress does this give me? 15? Alright, maybe not right now. Let's go hang out inside. We haven't done that in a while. Some friends are here. Who do you hang out with? This! plop down beside Dis, who's listening to music in his hear speak and ignoring everyone else in the lounge with dogged determination. When it becomes obvious that you're not going to just leave him alone, he turns off his music with a huff. What do you want? You ask him what he's listening to and he replies, just some old Earth music, you probably won't like it. All you have is Earth music, unless you want to listen to the space shanties the adults made up in the last 20 years, so you don't know what he's talking about. You tell him to give you a little credit. He rolls his eyes, but lets you sync your hearspeak to his. Grungy-sounding rock music fills your skull. Hell yeah, Dis! You spend a few hours passing music recommendations back and forth, lost in your own private soundscape. My bud! No, I like these cards. The creatures. And the creature. You know? Oh, it's glow. Oh god. Oh my god, someone's gonna fucking die. It's glow. I always forget that glow just kind of shows up so fast and like... I do combat training during glow. You drill on emergency protocols and how to shelter in place in addition to the regular fitness courses. Glow is everyone on edge. I am 12 right now, so I'll be 13. I'll officially be a teenage exocolonist that we've all heard about. Oh, I have to play this. Rude. Animal. Animal. Not yet? Animal. 2 data points form a line, but 3 is a pattern. The colony's been on high alert all glow, hoping that the creatures from beyond the wall don't return for a 3rd year in a row. Surveyors keep reporting that they're seeing unusual animal activity. Even the plants seem different, they say, and new tracks that have been left by creatures larger and heavier than you've ever seen. You and the other colonists drill evacuation plans. Oh, are you fucking 12? Are you a fucking idiot? Me, when I answer the door to an electrician and they're just like, am I allowed into your house? And I'm like, yeah, I'm an adult. You're in engineering when you hear the sirens ring through the colony. You cover your ears against the noise and make your way to the nearby classroom. This is one of the assembly points, so you should be safe there, but it wasn't so safe last year for Professor Hal. What if another creature gets in? Congruence, the new teacher, is just a face on a computer screen. She can't protect anyone. Congruence flickers cheerfully. Please stay calm, children, she says. The defense squad is already en route to the creatures. This should all be over soon. You've been told this before. As the sirens continue, you're faced with a choice. We're leaving. You stand up and leave. Tang and Mars stare at you like you have 3 heads. Congruence doesn't try to stop you. Not that she could. She doesn't even have any hands. You slow to a walk as you near the outer doors of engineering. Something doesn't feel right. You stop to listen in the dim emergency lighting and hear the metallic popping of something overhead. In the ventilation ducts? Your blood goes cold. Monsters! They're here! You follow the sounds to a workshop and force yourself to look up through the slats of the vent. You gasp. 2 glistening bug-like eyes peer down at you. No, 4? 6? They blink in syncopated pairs, then you hear it over the sirens, a soft pinging noise, halfway between a chirp and a purr. Probably a friend. The creature skitters spider-like from one side of the vent to the other. A small furry tentacle slithers through the slats, searching for the vent release. When it can't find one, it bangs its body against the inside of the vent, denting the metal. The fact that this thing is smart enough to look for the vent release disturbs me. Anyway, we're gonna tame it. Anyway, we're gonna tame it because it gave me the option to tame it. I'm sorry. Tame the creature. Eight or... Wait, 19 or 21. Alright, yeah, I'll get stressed out for this. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, wait. I hope Sir Hopsalot doesn't get too jealous. I just want to be friends, you know? I mean, I'm gonna win. I just, you know, we gotta... Yay! Oh my god! Oh my god, this is the guy? They were like, this is the scariest thing. This is a little guy. This is a man. You win it over by reading its body language and slowly building trust. It seems to want to join you, and you hope you'll be allowed to keep it. You look the species up on your holopalm. You learn that Vriki, so named for the trills they make, which yours is making now, cuddling against your leg, are neither male or female, though they do require a mate to reproduce. So it's a they, then. Every single creature on this planet is a they. The non-binary icons, you name it Riki Tiki, no, something else. No, what is... This is such a little friend. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh god. I want to name it something very dumb, like tiny or fluffy or, you know? Look at him. He's got a mushroom. He's a furry octopus mushroom spider. What does that evoke? You know? I'm unclear. I think I'm gonna name it Fluffy. I think that's really powerful. Fluffy it is. They blink every one of their black beady eyes at you, and none of them in unison. They seem to have no problem with this name. I hope not. It isn't long before the sirens turn off, ringing 3 short pulses as the all-clear message flashes on your holopalm. You and the other children file out of engineering, and you head back to your quarters. Your parents want to know that you're safe. You manage to smuggle your new pet Vriki under your jacket and hide it under your bed before they arrive. Your dad gives you a big hug, but your mom slumps into a seat at your small table. It's like they're going specifically for geoponics this time, she mutters, but your dad pets your hair and shushes her. I'm sure it was just bad luck, Flulubelle, he says, but your mom shakes her head and folds her hands in front of her mouth, staring out the porthole window at the fields. Oh, 2 of them. No, I'm 13, shut the fuck up, 2 of them. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, wait. +1 skill on challenge win, +1 bonus to straight. I need to unlock all these so that I can unlock all my boys. Who wanted to talk to us? I saw somebody on Anemone. You and Anemone are playing in the garrison yard with sticks, chasing each other around and pretending to be sword fighting. The adults training nearby are patient with you as long as you don't get near the target dummies, but sometimes you stray too close. Watch out, Annie, one of the security personnel calls out as an enemy bumps into her. You could stay behind the fences, okay? It's Anemone, she retorts as you both retreat to a safe distance. Anemone throws her stick to the ground and pouts. Just because everyone else shortens their name, it doesn't mean I have to do it. I like being Anemone. But having a nickname is kind of cool and mysterious. Like having a call sign, you know? What would you call me, Sola? Nem. Yes, Nem tilts her head. Huh, I never heard that one before. She mimes swinging a sword a few times. Nem, I like it. Short and punchy, just like me. It's kind of like I'm a venturer from a story. Nem picks up her started skig. Now, she says, branching at you, prepare to be defeated by the mighty Nem. Yay! I'm only going to call her Anemone, though. I wanted to give her a nickname so she'd be happy, but it's Anemone for me, so... It's very cute. She has a cute name. Why the fuck is my animals not leveling up? Oh, it needs to cross the bump. Okay. You named her Nemo? That's very powerful. That's so powerful. Can I just say? Come on, guys. We're going outside. You and me. My two boys. Oh my god. This is the funniest. Oh, creature. Hey. We're gonna do this again. No, wait. 5, 6. No. 5. Oh, you go up. 6, 7. 2. I don't want to be stressed out. Big. Yes, my animal perk. It did it. Show me. Show me. Upgrade pet cards by relaxing in the park? Level 2 pets? Strong boys. Strong, powerful boys for me and me alone. Touch a bug. This is just so incredible. Oh, it's the person again. Is that a person? Someone is peering over the edge of the mushroom cap above you. You can't quite see their eyes, but you get an impression of long dark hair and an enormous mocking grin. I wouldn't go that way if I were you, they warn playfully. They have a deep musical accent you don't recognize. A stranger? That's impossible. You're the only people around for thousands of light years. And what the heck is he doing out here? You feel a chill go up your spine. I trust you. Oh. Yeah, why not? You start to ask why, but he's disappeared again over the edge of the mushroom cap. You shout, but there's no answer. You can't even figure out a way to get up there. Can this guy fly? Or was it just a mirage? You think you might be seeing things. I'm continuing. No. You've met everybody in the stratosphere. That must have been some kind of animal. One that looks like a person and sounds like a person. Maybe it's Dis playing tricks with his voice. Or maybe you're seeing things. You round the bend and regret it immediately as something long and thin slaps against your face. There's another whack across your back, and as you spin to face your attacker, whap whap, 2 slaps to your shin send you reeling. Whatever's attacking, you can't see it. You fall to the ground and cover your head with your arms in defense. Nothing happens, just silence. When you look up, there's no attacker, but the plants all around you are flattened to the ground. They're long purple reeds with stubby bumps at their bases. As you watch, the reeds slowly start to bend back upright. You poke one experimentally, and it slaps back down to the ground, stinging your hand. Attacked by grass. How embarrassing. You decide to call it slapgrass. You know what? I enjoy that very much. What's this way? Spit seeds. You let your mind wander as you're walking and bumble straight into a field of gelatinous blob grass. Totally transparent, the sticky fronds are hard to see but even harder to ignore, especially once they start glomming on your boots and slowing you down. It's like trudging through thick mud. You stubbornly decide to keep going, paying close attention to the visible signs of this blobgrass field, and there aren't many, just an absence of other vegetation. Oh. Super goal! Right, I'm going home. There it is. You can hop along from that rock to that fallen log, then climb over those old pieces of surveying equipment. You get through the villainous blobgrass. You spend a bunch of time on it, though, and it takes some tricky balancing. It's tiring. It's okay, we're going home. New perk? My perception— oh my god, my toughness is incredible. All collectibles glow, so I can see them now. Thank god. Go home. Go home. You wake to the sound of your parents arguing in hushed tones, clearly trying not to disturb you. You blink away the sleep from your eyes, eventually remembering. Wait, isn't today your 13th birthday? Where's your birthday cuddles? Your parents always make a big deal about your birthday. You peek out through the privacy curtain on your bunk and listen in on their argument. You're being unreasonable, your mom says. Sola is a teenager now. You have to give them the opportunity to take calculated risks, or they'll start acting out. That's just what being a teenager is. Going off into the wilderness isn't a calculated risk, your dad replies. It's too dangerous. It's weird to hear your parents arguing. If they ever disagree, they sort it out quietly or go to meditation. This time they sound really upset. It's unsettling. Oh god. You don't need to... They glance at you. Your mom holds up her hand to silence you and goes right back to talking. Geranium, she grates. You've said yourself that we need every person out there surveying for edible native plants. You're even going yourself. Why not our child? Your dad flails his hands helplessly. Because, Flulu, they're our child. It's our responsibility to keep them safe. You're not keeping anyone safe by coddling them, your mom almost shouts, and your dad flinches in shock. Sola's survival depends on them understanding this planet we're living on, so you're not doing them or the colony any favors by pretending like that's not the case. I'm gonna take care of myself. You're brave, but you aren't stupid. You assure them that you'll stay out of trouble. Your dad's shoulders sag as he shakes his head. You barely even know what's out there, kiddo, he mutters. Your mom's fierce expression softens. Hey, Sola. Sorry, it's your birthday today, and here we are arguing like a pair of assholes. Happy birthday! Wow, what a good morning. They both give you a hug. We meant to order up from the canteen and have your usual birthday breakfast, but we got talking about how Utopia's opened up positions and expeditions for kids 13 and older, and... well, that's you now. I suppose we'll have to let you spread your wings someday, your dad relents. I just feel better knowing you were safe here inside the colony walls. Gives your mom a faint smile. We decided early on to let you choose your own path in life, so if you want to join expeditions, we're behind you. Just be safe. Moonforest, welcome! Look at how cute this game is. Look at my creatures! Alright, I need to go relax in the park, or I will die. I can't wait to go exploring for the first time ever. I've never been outside before, and I will be very shocked to find what exists beyond the walls. You find your dad comparing some plant samples. When he sees you, he puts down the test tubes and gives you a big hug. Kiddo, he exclaims, then kneels down to look you in the eye. I've been thinking, I want to say I'm sorry your mom and I were arguing on your birthday. We disagree sometimes, just like every couple, but it's unfair that you had to see how the soy sauce gets made. It's okay. He pats you on the shoulder. Thanks for saying so. You're a great kid. Your mom and I talked it out, he continues. We're both just really putting out our everything into the farm right now, and it's making us kind of snappy. You don't have to worry about it, okay? He squeezes you in a hug. If you want to join Utopia's exploration team, just be careful. It's dangerous out there. I know I need a break. I'm going to the park. Relax in the park. You play with your Hopeye Sir Hops-a-Lot while you hang out in the gardens. They're pretty well behaved, never straying too far into the underbrush and always coming back when you call their name. Another Hopeye shyly approaches out of the long grass. Your Hopeye goes totally still and lets out a happy chitter and bounces off to greet the stranger. They touch noses and hop around each other twice. They disappear for a few minutes into the underbrush, long enough that you begin to get concerned. Finally, Sir Hops-a-Lot bounces back to you and nuzzles against your leg. They want to be picked up and cuddled, so you pop them underneath your shirt and carry them like a baby the rest of the way. He's very good. You play with your freaky Fluffy, hanging out with them just outside the walls. It's uneventful, which is exactly what you needed. You try to teach them some simple commands. Stay, follow, speak. It's adorable watching them tilt their head from side to side when they're trying to figure something out. They don't seem to really get it, but you get the impression they're trying. You quickly realize the Vriki must be named after the sound they make when they're happy, a whirring, clicking noise. For a weird spider tentacle creature, it's really cute. Yay! I don't want to forget. My boys, I'm all bonded with my guys. Does that mean that they're like, things are better? No. But I do love them very much. They are very precious to me and very powerful, and I love them. Okay, so let's do you want to get some empathy? Hey guys, do you want to like maybe develop empathy at the age of 13? What does supplies give me again? Organizing and perception. No, I'm gonna go take humanities class so that I can maybe be empathetic a little bit. If you're not empathetic by 13, what's the point? That's true. Study humanities. You're running late for humanities class. When you arrive, everyone's gathered in the beanbags around the room's big holo projector. Ship's computer congruence is displayed on it. She's giving today's lesson, reading an old book of Earth poetry. You sit down next to Tang and nudge her and motion, "What's up with this?" Tang frowns at you. "Where have you been?" she whispers. "Ever since Professor Hal died, congruence has been teaching this class." And then she frowns at everything in general. They said anyone else who might be qualified is too busy, and no, they didn't ask me. I miss Professor Hal. You try to keep your voice down, but congruence literally has ears everywhere. I miss Professor Hal as well, she says, her monitor swinging over to you. He was a very special human. Wait, you ask out loud, congruence can like people? Of course I like people, she replies. There's humor in her not a voice. I carried you inside of me for 20 years after all. How could I not get attached? Okay. Yeah, I mean, naturally. Wait. I don't want this. Yay, I'm creative. I'm persuasive. My creatures are out. That's a glow for sure. Hey, Dad. Your dad was sniffling and sneezing pretty bad this morning. He collapsed around this time last year, so you've been feeling anxious about his health, especially now that the pollen is back. He's working hard in the fields, respirator hanging from his neck as he grunts and shovels dirt into a wheelbarrow. He sees you coming and stands up straight, coughing a little as he stretches his back. Hey, kiddo, what brings you out here? Dad, you have to wear your respirator. Your dad makes a blah 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 motion with his hands. I do! Don't look at me like that. I'm just getting some fresh air. It's hard to breathe with that thing on. The fresh air will kill you, Dad! You'll die! I'm racing to get these pixie beans in the ground, he continues. We're all set to have a great harvest in time for Vertumnalia. He leans on his shovel, tucking one foot behind the other and rocking back and forth. Truth is, I've been working like a dog. Love to get out of here for a while. Hey, what do you say you and I go for a little walk, he says, brightening. I know you don't get outside the walls much either, but we could do a little nature walk. I study all the plants the foragers bring back, but I've never really seen them in the wild. You want to go outside? Sure, your dad says. People can want to try new things, right? Your mom doesn't see the draw, he continues, flipping his shovel up onto his shoulder and picking his way carefully out of the turned fields. She likes what she can control, you know? But there's a whole planet out there, and I want to go explore. He stops and doubles over, suddenly racked with a coughing fit that makes him unable to speak. He tries a few times to catch his breath, but each time he just starts coughing harder. The pink pollen in the air swirls and eddies around you both. Maybe you should stay inside. Oh, your dad wheezes. You're just like Instance, that old stick in the mud. I remember when we were younger, she was always walking around with her nose in everyone's business. She always thinks she knows what's best for people. Despite his brave words, he has to hold on to you for balance as he catches his breath again. Okay, maybe now's not the best time, he gasps, finally putting his respirator back on. But, you and me, we have a date with the outside world, kiddo. I'm taking a rain check. Dad. Oh, he says, his eyes red-rimmed and streaming from irritation. I can't wait until Instance figures out a treatment for this shimmer thing. She says maybe next year, maybe the one after that. I'm gonna be first in line, you bet. Papa. Moonforest, it kind of reminds me of, like, Dapper Volk. If you ever played that. It's got that kind of, like, watercolor painting vibe, which I enjoy. Yeah. Where the fuck is Instance? Oh, I can just go outside now! I'm old enough to just be, like, out of the wall. Where is Instance, though? Explore nearby. Survey the plains. Okay, well, this will get my animals up, like, immensely. That's all I want. Incredible animal boy. Oh? Oh, this is new. When you boarded the expedition's autobus this morning, you didn't know what to expect. It trundled you and the other surveyors a few clicks north to the prosaic plains, a high flat area with cooler weather than your colony. You could barely control your excitement as you watched the landscape change. And now you're here. You're finally old enough for a real survey mission away from the colony. And she gives me a gun. You greet Chief Surveyor Utopia at the depot. This here's a plaza cutter, she says, handing you one. It's a tool for cutting and heating things. You can use it to make a fire, cauterize a wound, boil water, and it cuts some materials pretty alright. You can use it for self-defense too, but I don't suggest it. Are we gonna be in danger? She makes a so-so motion with her hand. This is a quiet area, and what we're doing, we're not supposed to be in danger. We're just going to be taking notes and pictures, keeping track of all the flora and fauna we see. Just don't touch anything unless I ask you to take a sample. Everything's potentially dangerous. We don't know much about what's out there, which is why we need surveyors, even youngins like you. The prosaic plains are a sparse region. Like you can assume from the name, you can see things from a long way off. Utopia sees you squinting at the horizon. What are you going to do if you see something coming for you? Try to pet it! Utopia puts her fingers to her temples. I'm going to hope you were joking, she sighs. I wasn't. Dis joins you. He must have come on an earlier autobus. Ah, good you're here, Utopia says, digging at another plas cutter for Dis. You two greenhorns are with me for the foreseeable future. Now, we don't gotta sniff each other's butts all the time out there, but I do expect y'all to be in yelling distance. Comms can get spotty out there. I don't like the way that you said that. You and Dis shared knowing glances. You've both been sneaking out to explore long before you were officially allowed to. Utopia also hands you a surveying drone and shows you how to launch it. It'll automatically perform local scans of wherever you go, through detailed scans still need to be done manually. When you return here to the depot, it'll upload its findings to the HoloNet. Your job is to cover ground, see what's out there, and so long as it isn't dangerous, record it. She slaps you on the back. Alright, team, don't get yourselves killed out there, okay! Alrighty. Come on, my two boys. Hello! You're crossing a clearing when you hear a terrible cracking, pounding sound. A massive creature bursts through the trees, a boulder with arms, a bush growing out of its back, a bush bub! Utopia has mentioned these before, part animal, part vegetable, and part mineral. These usually gentle giants camouflage themselves as part of the forest. Part man, part skeleton! The Skeleton Man! Oh, card becomes 2. Interesting. Okay, well, if card becomes 2... 2, 2. Two, two, two. Okay. And then... Big goal, pet the creature. The creature pounds past you, its powerful stone-like gorilla arms smashing the ground. It doesn't even seem to see you and goes around you without even looking at you. You look around, but there's no sign of whatever motivated the bushbub to run so fast. At least that's something to be grateful about. I don't know. Is that good? Another one. 2 of them. You almost bump into Dis. He's being so still and quiet, hunched over and looking down a little knoll. He shushes you and points. Don't scare them. You follow his finger and see what looks like a bush shaking violently. 2 bushes, actually, at opposite ends of a clearing. Oh, they're bushbubs! From far away, they really do just look like plants and rocks. They're fighting over territory, Dis says. I hope they don't hurt each other. They won't, Dis whispers. They do it by dancing. They do it by dancing? Watch! You watch the 2 creatures face off rhythmically wrestling the leaves that grow out their heads and backs. Their gangly branch-like antennas swing over their heads as they rear up to their full heights. Even from far away, they look imposing, like agile boulders. I got a dance card for the creatures! One goes, then the other. They watch each other carefully, alternating and repeating each other's motions, trying to outdo each other. Ultimately, the smaller, more graceful one seems to be declared the winner. The loser plops back down and shuffles away into the jungle, defeated. Can we go tame that one? Can we go just, like, give him a kiss and then, you know? A mass of dead bushes blocks your way. They have pointy spines the size of short swords and they look very, very sharp. Leave. Wait. What if we do not hurt nature? At the edge of one of the circular ponds, something sparkling catches your eye. Well, everything around here sparkles, but this thing really catches your eye. The water in the little lake is deep and milky, though, and you can't see the bottom. It's completely still, almost too still, and so perfectly circular. You remember you've been warned about getting too close to the pools. Observe the water. Bad draw. Card becomes yellow, that's fine. Alright, we're not doing super well with this one. Okay. But we can. The thing is, okay. Oh my god. No. Fuck you. I'll take some stress. Fuck you. I'm putting my hand in the fucking water. This is the last thing I do. You aren't scared of some pond, or whatever might live in it. You march up to the edge, keeping your eyes on the shiny prize, and paw around in the snow, looking for that shiny whatever it is. Looks like it's a pretty crystal, just sitting on the ground. Good find. Why am I going so far? I'm very frightened. You've sought to admire the light glinting off the water of a shallow circular lake when you notice some strange rocks near your feet. They're pink and red, bobbing in the shallow water at the shore. The rocks are flashing golden yellow. This one, then that one, then a pause, then that one, then the first one again. You thought it was reflected sunlight at first, but no, the rocks themselves are glowing. Repeat the pattern. You play a memory game with them, touching the stones in the pattern they give you. You feel emotions coming from the rocks. Affection, interest, gratefulness. Somehow you understand. They like the contact. Are they creatures or rocks? Sometimes the line between the two can be blurry on Vertumna. They can't move, but learn about the world from creatures who pass by and touch them, like the way animals rub to leave their scent. These rocks entice animals to play with them and leave information about the world. You get the sense they're excited for your new scent. To what end, you don't know. They're friends to me. That's something that's very important. I'm gonna go kiss that animal in a moment. Yeah. What was that? Hi. Hi. A bushbub's blocking the path, lumbering slowly back and forth between a dense strand of gloop mushes, or whatever these plants are called, and a wide circular lake. It's like it's on some kind of patrol. It growls a warning when you try to squeeze past it, so you back off. From the look in its eyes, this one isn't letting you through easy. Oh, card becomes 2. I fucking hate you. Fucking hate you. I still win, but I fucking hate you. I don't want to do this. You ruined my life. You sneak through the gloop mushes, crawling under them so the bushbub doesn't see you. You nearly get stuck at one point and wonder, what if Dis has to come rescue you? That would be embarrassing. You find a route through and continue on your way. Alright, my stress is at 93. We will not be continuing. Oh yeah, I can click on this. I always forget. Yay! Early pollen. How's everybody doing? You need to start giving people presents. I really haven't been doing that because I haven't had really good luck with giving people presents. Cal, do you want an egg? Is that an alien egg? Cal exclaims. Wow, I wonder what's inside it. If it's still removed, we can hatch it. He lifts it up and scrutinizes it. Anemone is always talking about wanting to eat a big ol' alien egg, he says. This one's not fertilized, I'll give it to her. Oh, Anemone like egg. The whole time. Anemone like egg. Well, I don't have egg for you anymore. And I feel like you won't. It's just like... Oh, I'm really getting good at these things. I have, like, logs, you know? And, like, medicinal roots. Like, I don't really feel like 13-year-olds would be interested. But, like, I'll give people some fruit. I don't know what dislikes. I'm assuming dislikes just a living alien. I got something for you. It's a bobber fruit. Thanks. Okay, well. Hang, do you like medicinal root? Oh, she likes it. This is interesting, as Altang says, taking the roots and turning them over in her hands. Her lip curls in distaste at the dirt that still clings to them. No, really, she protests when she sees a look on your face. I'm going to analyze these roots to see if they have any useful properties. They might be medicinal. She turns to walk away, then remembers herself. Thank you, she adds, almost as an afterthought. Yay. Friendship. I'm going to go hang out at the park. With my boys. Hey, Squirt, your mom calls out to you. Don't you think it's time you started thinking about what you're going to do when you're older? Didn't you already ask that? You look at her in confusion. Isn't she always telling you to stay in school? She chuckles. You gotta think about it sometime, kid. How about you come join your folks on the farm if you think you're up for it? Oh, can I just, like, decide on a job? And then that's my job? I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be good to be like, we went through kind of a phase as a child where we wanted to kill monsters because we watched Uncle Tonin get ripped apart by a manicore, but now we have 2 pets and they're friends. And we befriended some rocks, and now we're like, you know what? I think it's good, but also I want to be an explorer. why do you have to decide on one job, you know? Why is it one thing? I don't think I'm ready. I don't know yet, Mother. The thing is, I don't want this. It's a 1. This is a lot of stress, but like, that was an important moment in my life that I had. You're getting older. It's that magical time in your life, full of discoveries and possibilities, when children become adults and their bodies change in weird, wonderful, and often embarrassing ways. When you were younger, Congruence gave your class a frank presentation about preparing for the changes your bodies would experience the next few years. Which parts of the presentation was relevant to you? Menstruating and breast growth, voice changing, getting erections, or none of it? I'm like a doll down there. Absolutely no genitals, no genitalia, absolutely nothing happening hormonally in my body. At age 6, I was born without a face. This is so powerful conceptually. What do you want? What do you want to do? What do we want to do? What, you know? What do you guys, what's your headcanon? This is so I'm just baffled in a good way. This is a very good way to do this, but like, what does this mean for me? What does this mean? How do I, like, biologically, what happens to me if there's nothing there? Like, that's the thing. I love this. I love the gender system. But, like, we're so intersect, we just don't. Thanks to gene tech, your body doesn't need to conform to expectations for sex and gender. It's the future. It's the future. You and your friends giggled your way through Congruence's presentation and left with a new appreciation for the wonders of the human body. Puberty had felt like something that would happen so far in the future that it didn't apply to you. You put it out of your mind, even as you noticed Cal's voice begin to drop, or Mars starting to dress differently. Until one morning you wake up, and something feels different. You can tell you're in a weird mood before you even open your eyes. The sound of your parents moving around your quarters irritates you. Why can't they be quiet? Why do you have to live in the same room? Can't they just leave you alone? You throw back to your privacy curtain and snap at them to shut up. Your mom and dad blink at you in shock for a few seconds. Then your mom's face goes red. Excuse me, kid? You do not speak to people like that. You're not the boss of me. Your mom opens her mouth to yell at you, but your dad raises his hands for peace. Hey, now let's walk it back a bit, he says diplomatically. Sola, you can't expect total silence when we all live together like this. If you're cranky in the mornings, you need to go to bed earlier. Teenagers need more sleep. Your mom opens her mouth again, but your dad continues. Flulu, we'll try to be quieter. Sola is telling us that they are starting to need more space, right? He's so reasonable, it just makes you more angry. How dare he try to understand? You roll over in bed and skulk until they leave. So we don't... Now, we're going through puberty. There's nothing happening to our body physically, but we do have the rage hormone. That is universal. So that's important to think about. No matter what happens to you, you do get mad. So you end up sulking for so long that you miss the window for breakfast in the canteen. So now you're hungry and upset. You scroll the colony's social media to try and take your mind off whatever's going on with you today, and happen to see a photo of your friends hanging out together in the construction lot beside engineering. That makes it worse. Your friends are having fun without you. Even though you chose to skip breakfast, it feels like a personal insult. How dare they? Don't they know you're sad? Gained status hormones. What is happening? You feel on the edge today, like everything that happens feels so unfair and tragic. Like you want to punch stuff and then cry about it. Like you want to be left alone but also desperately want attention. It feels like a fount of new energy is starting to bubble up inside you. Dangerous, uncontrollable energy. Welcome to puberty, Sola. Mad, 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 mad. Angry, mad. Okay. I want to go be brave with the creatures again. Run your Bly. Survey the plains. We get a bonus for, like, rebelling, but I'm just a little guy. Hey, I don't know if I've said, I don't think I've really said this enough. This is a good video game. Can I just say? This is a good video game that we're playing that presents me with this, conceptually. Oh, hi, bud. You spot some familiar-looking fruit. Hey, you've seen this bush before. That's no rock underneath. It's all part of one creature. An arborescent photosynth, a bush bub. It pays you no attention, continuing to blend in with the rest of its surroundings like a boulder. Pick the fruit. You're not letting it get away with being delicious. You grab some of the fruit as the bush bub rises up and roars with anger. Calm it down. Hey. Hey, it's okay. Yeah, I know that I yeah, I know that I just, like, ripped something off of your flesh, but think about it. So, why does it do this to me? Yeah. 4, 4, 22. It's all 22 all the way down. You soothe the bush bub, and it seems to nod in your direction, indicating you can have some of its fruit if you want. Only take a little. You scramble up and pick a few fruits from its back. It lumbers off into the forest. Why was that colony loyalty? That I was good for the boy? I wasn't trying to be particularly loyal, I just wanted to give him a little kiss. You know? Hello. Oh, play in the snow. Drifts of spark snow make this area hard to pass through. Your feet keep sinking into it, and you have to work to get them free every step. The only way forward here is through an especially deep area. Play in it. You make a snow buddy! Or at least you try. The tiny blue crystals don't pack together very well, and the stuff quickly melts just from the heat of your body. The acidic snow gives you a hot, scratchy rash between your fingers. You probably should have worn gloves. But now I have it playing in the snow. You appraise your lumpy snow buddy. It looks a little sad. Maybe it just needs some accessories. With some twigs and grass and a weird kind of jelly you find seeping out of the ground, you give your buddy antlers and fur. Kind of looks like a snow bush bub. Hell yeah. What's this way? Nothing. Hi, bud. The water in this pond is slightly greener color than they're used to seeing. It smells sweet but kind of acidic. Drink some? No, identify it! You collect a sample to analyze, then hide yourself under some large mushrooms to watch the local fauna come and go. The smaller creatures sniff the water but leave it without drinking. Then a massive creature lumbers over. It's easily 3 times your height. Your holopalm identifies it as a balneal photosynth, a docile creature that feeds only on algae by filtering water through its long snout. It lifts a leg and... oh! This pond must be where the balneal photosynths mark their territory. You check your analysis results to confirm. Yeah, it's literally brimming with balneal piss. Good thing you didn't try to drink it. Yeah, I'd say. Just a pond of piss. Out in the wilds. Hey Sola, just greets you cautiously as you pass on the narrow path. Hey, do you want to, I'm gonna show you something? This almost never makes overtures of friendship. Whatever it is, it must be pretty cool. Nod quietly and follow him. You follow him for nearly half an hour. A couple times he stops to listen for something, then continues onward, tromping through the fields of broad-top mush trees and swaying antler ferns. After a while, you start to wonder if he's just lost. You're about to say something about it when he holds his hand up for silence, and directs you to crawl under a huge mushroom. On the other side, you have a view down to one of the perfectly round ponds. Taking up most of it is an enormous xeno, its legs deep underwater. It's a balneal, this tells you. They live in the swamps. You don't usually see them here. This one seems totally at home. It dips its long neck and even longer mouth into the pond, sucking up water from the bottom and spewing it out of its spout at the back of its head. We should kill it while it's distracted is an option. No! The spray of beautiful turquoise water sparkles in the sun. Tiny, colorful bird-like creatures dart around catching the tiny fish that come spraying out. Sit and watch quietly. You enjoy the pretty scene together. Thanks, Dis. Wow, you can really just choose to be, like, the most violent child in the world. It's a cloudy day. You hear the crash of thunder from somewhere nearby. Loud. Sounds like it's getting closer. Suddenly, a massive, impossibly tall something punctures the low clouds and slams into the ground ahead of you. It's as tall as a skyscraper and a meter wide, covered with chitinous bone like an insect. You think it might be a leg? Another crashes down, then another. The creature's body must be up in the clouds, so high you can't see anything but the legs. I hate it. Oh, I can't analyze it. No, I need perception 50 or greater. No, my perception is 42. You're in shock. Your body simultaneously screams at you to stand still and run. Stand still. You freeze up in terror, closing your eyes and standing perfectly still. Maybe it will just pass by. You can sense a shadow descending from above you. Suddenly something hits you from the left, and you're flung sideways off your feet. A moment later, one of the massive legs slams down right where you'd been. Another second and you'd have been flat as the grass underneath it. You look up to what hit you, but it, or they, is already gone, having saved your life. Mysterious stranger, please! I want to kiss you. Mysterious stranger. Ooh, exclamation mark. You spot an enormous, unfamiliar flower, large waxy petals joined from a basin brimming with a goopy yellow gunk. The entire thing has a sticky, melting look. The awful smell of the juice permeates the area. It's like something died in there. Wait and watch it. One of the nearby bushes starts rustling. Oh, another bush bub! It approaches the plant and dips an arm into it, bringing it to its face and licking it. Then it sticks its head right in there and drinks. You try not to gag. Blech. After some long, deep gulps, the bush bub wanders away, looking slightly tipsy. Feel around in there. You tentatively slip your hand in a little ways and feel around. Suddenly the plant contracts and sucks your arm into the elbow. You panic, expecting the sting of digestive juices, but it's just warm, gross, but oddly pleasant. There seems to be nothing else in there. You plant your feet on the other side of the flower and pull your arm out with a mighty slurp. Your hand smells awful, but feels all tingly and kind of stronger? All your noise attracts a nearby bush bub. It comes scurrying out of the bush, growling and cackling at you. Why is it cackling? I don't like that. 222, perhaps. 13. It's all 13 if I do this. Becca, don't kink shame the vor game. Don't do it. I hate Card Becomes 2. Nothing is worse than Card Becomes 2. The funny creature rears up and stomps the ground intimidatingly, but by reading its body language you realize it's just trying to move you away from the big flower. You back away slowly, talking softly to it. Good, Bushbub. You can keep your gross stink flower. It's all yours, buddy. Oh, I'm at the end. I've got to go home. I know, buds. Alright, Cal, do you want a log? You want a flower? Neat, Cal exclaims. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I love it. Okay, he doesn't really love flowers, but he's okay with them. Do you want a flower also? Oh, it is your birthday this week. I'm sorry. I'll give you another herb. I have so many fucking herbs. Great. And I'm not giving Mars anything. Life is pain. Let's go to the park. Your mom is tending to her garden as you relax nearby. You're both happy to leave each other alone, but you can hear her muttering to herself as she pulls weeds. Every day, she grumbles, you'd think I was never here at all with how much of these weeds grow. I thought that bringing only nice plants would mean we wouldn't have to weed as much, but these retumnant plants, they're unstoppable. She pulls hard on one weed, which turns out to be a huge creeping vine that yanks out a few flowers. Oh, I just want one place on this planet that's ours. We'll help. You get down there and help your mom pull weeds for the better part of the afternoon. It's surprisingly hard work. By the end, your back and shoulders are aching and the palms of your hands are on fire. Your mom dumps a huge armful of weeds into a wheelbarrow. These go all the way to the edge of the colony, she says wearily. Whatever plant these roots belong to, they're invading my garden. She turns towards the walls and yells, You stupid pink bastards! Stay out of there where you belong! Jesus! Fuck this card. Oh my god, it's Vertumnalia. Time has really been flying this time. Now that we're like, you know, on a path. It's Vertumnalia, time for speeches, games, and feasting. You stare hungrily at the feast table. Sure, it's mostly soy rations, but it's still more food than you usually see all at one time. This year, though, there's something new. Great big turreens of glowing beans. Weird. You try to sneak some of the food before the speeches start, but Chief Engineer Instance catches you and smacks your hand away. Your mom gets really mad at her, and it causes a huge yelling match. Your dad directs you away from the table as Instance blames your mom for the way things are right now, whatever that means. Your dad passes you a soy sweet to keep your tummy busy during the speeches. He's the best. Governor Udicott takes the stage and manages to calm everyone down. Welcome, everyone, to our 4th Vertumnalia celebration, she says, speaking through a maxophoner. Her voice has been getting weaker lately and can't reach across the square the way it used to. I'm proud as always to stand before you as your governor and to celebrate another year of peace and prosperity on this beautiful planet. Udicott steps aside, wobbling a little as she walks, leaving Seek to complete the annual formalities. Oh, she's gonna die. She's going to die! Your mom steps forward. This year's feast includes a new glow-in-the-dark food. Pixie beans are our first domesticated Vertumnan crop. The crowd applauds and your mom raises her hands. Credit goes to Geranium. He insisted we dedicate a third of our fields to them, so you'll have him to thank for the light show in your toilets tonight. A smattering of laughter ripples through the crowd. Your dad chuckles nervously. Your mom's smile fades. As you know, we lost our hydroponics and microbial soil during the wormhole accident, she says. These pixie beans will make up for losses we've faced with our earth crops. Udicott's weedy voice rattles through the maxophoner. Thank you, everyone. Let's get on with the games. The crowd packs away the chairs as the children gather in the square. Which competition do you participate in this year? The thing again. Com directs your attention to this year's edition. A cloth-covered mountain as tall as 4 adults, studded with mysterious protrusions. He pulls it back to reveal. The Tower of Terror, he announces with a flourish. Test your courage with 3 stories of ladder climbs, followed by a death-defying leap of faith into the poof shroom mats. You, Nem and Cal, take in the majesty of the Tower of Terror. Both of them are hooting and pumping their fists, absolutely bonkers about jumping from 3 stories. You'll all still be doing the wrestling, agility, and accuracy portions of the course, but clearly this is the winner by popular vote. How about you? Are you ready? Yeah, I fucking am. Oh god. Yeah, I fucking am. Well, I want to save the 6. We can do 5, 5, and 5. That's very powerful. And then we can do 2, 2, and 3, and 3, which is also very powerful. This is going to be extremely good. Wait, oh, you're a 7 now. Because we did that. Extreme win! You blow through the obstacle course, the basket shooting and the bot wrestling with ease, and you arrive at the base of the Tower of Terror with a determined gleam in your eye. You scale it easily, of course. It's only ladders. Sure, it's really high ladders and a huge jump, but you just close your eyes and pretend you're jumping into a great big vat of pudding. Calm awards you first place in the quadrathlon. Wow, that really got me. I've been got before, but that really got me. Finally, it's time for the feast. The pixie beans are a hit. Your parents keep touting their many benefits. They grow well here, they're super nutritious, taste great, they're really versatile, and kids love their bright multicolored glow. Your rumbling stomach has made you grouchy. Your parents won't let you eat until they finally stop bragging about their dumb beans. You consider the options. Pixie bean soup, pixie bean salad, pixie bean chili, even pixie bean aquafaba dessert. Everything glows in the evening twilight. Can I choose the soup? You sullenly shove your pixie bean everything around on your plate. You don't even want to eat them anymore. Stupid beans, stupid feast, stupid game, stupid everyone. Ugh. Every time someone turns to talk to you, especially about how great these beans are and how great your parents are for growing them, you just get more irritated. They're just beans. It's like they love these beans more than they love you. You're probably just hungry. Eat the beans. You want to rebel against these stupid beans, but the truth is you're too hungry to resist. You count backwards from 10 to calm yourself down so you don't blow up at your mom. Why is she smiling all the time? Ugh. You settle on glowering at her over your plate of glowing beans. She notices, but just purses her lips and turns away for you to talk to someone else. Rude. You shovel food into your mouth. Try not to look like you're enjoying it. Okay, it is as delicious as everyone said, and you start to feel more human the more you eat. Right, yeah, food. Food's good. You do feel better after you eat something. Everyone's in high spirits after dinner, breaking off into little groups to talk or make music together as the sky darkens for the shortest night of the year. You feel your mood improve by the minute as your friends pull you into a fun rhythmic clapping game. Rhythmic. Why do I keep saying rhythmic? That's not even a word. As your irritation fades, you wonder if this is what congruence meant when she warned that your hormones would make you feel out of control sometimes. When you go back to your quarters to get ready for bed, your dad gives you a big hug. It's exactly what you needed. Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm almost fully brave. And I would like to be. Let's play sports ball. Mars may not be as skilled as a sports ball player as Anemone, but she plays hard. She orders people around like a team captain, but she isn't so great at passing the ball. She'd rather be the star. Her favorite thing is to spike the ball right into the opposing net stop's body. It's not a legal move, but she's done it so many times that the opposition now stands further back when Mars has the ball, which is exactly what she wants. Did you see that? Anemone complains to you during a break. Mars wouldn't pass the ball to either of us for 10 whole minutes. Somebody has to do something. Anemone looks at you questioningly. Is this persuasion? Let's not pass her the ball. Let's be cruel. For the rest of the game, you and Anemone pass to each other and ignore Mars. She notices, but just assumes you want to be the star too and doesn't give you any hassle. The thing you've learned with Mars is that she loves to be the best, but she doesn't have the kind of ego that makes her mean about it. Really? It doesn't really solve the problem, but it's kind of fun anyway. No, +2. I mean, it's fine, I'll just win. My bravery! I'm brave. Let's do it. Show me the perk. Extra card draw. Fuck yeah. Okay, and I need to get my animals up too. I also, like, I did really good at biology, and that's something I should probably kind of focus on. Maybe a little bit. Let's go exploring again. Go further into the wilds. Survey the plains. Show me the creatures. Come on, buds. We got a long walk ahead of us. Like a long walk, my boys. They can't even keep up with me. Ah. No. Come on. Come on. Okay. A series of small circular pools chained together to form an impassable body of water. Look for a place to cross. Yeah, thanks for locking a 1 card in there. I really appreciate it. You absolute motherfucker. You absolute piece of garbage. Oh, this is so rough. 11. Thank God, okay. Look at all my red cards. They're so good. The power of being a good guy. Timmy, don't worry. I got you. They tried to pull one over me, but they can't. So, leap of faith. Yay. Where the fuck am I going? Okay. I don't even know how far this goes. Oh, it just goes up to here. No, it doesn't. No, it does. Okay, no, it doesn't, but it does, actually. I forgot that everything hadn't reset. I forgot that I got to this flag. That's okay. It's kind of a waste, but we did one thing. I don't think I can afford the animal book, which I would like. Let's, Oh, I can apply to work as a farmer. I can just get a job. I might do that. I'm gonna research botany, though. You're really in the groove, munching on day-glow roasted pixie beans and feeling just good? Like everything is going right for once. You catch yourself giggling for no reason. For fun, you decide to put a pixie bean through the analyzer. Sure, your dad already studied them, but there's gotta be stuff you still don't know about them. Like, you only just discovered today how incandescently delicious they are roasted. Maybe you can figure out why they glow. Then you can make everything glow. The analyzer spits out a bunch of info and congruence helps you interpret it. She says, as if she really needs to ponder anything. These readings are different than the initial ones, suggesting possible amplification with certain hormones for higher bioreactivity in situ. In regular words, congruence, please. Pardon me, Sola. I mean, they might mess with human brain functions under some conditions. We should perform the analysis again. Oh no. This sounds important. You run more samples of roasted pixie beans through the analyzer, but you only get more frustrated. Are you certain these are clean samples, Congruence asks? I am detecting anomalies in the readings. Excuse me for asking, but have you washed your hands? Ew, Congruence, of course you have. You don't know what to do. You try everything, even scrubbing the beans clean with acid. Congruence reverts to her most robotic, focused entirely on figuring out this puzzle. When her normally chipper voice goes monotone and cold, it makes you feel so lost. You're never gonna get this right. You start to feel tears prickling your eyes. Run the experiment correctly. You whip your eyes and try to focus. Once the samples are finally scanned, you help Congruence run simulations to see what effect the pixie beans might have on different types of brain chemistry. Do you have permission to do this, Sola? It requires significant power, she asks. You wave your hands at her. Of course, sure, whatever. You giggle. No one's here to stop you, right? Processing all that simulation data makes the greenhouse lights flicker. You might get in trouble for that later, but what do you care? You're doing science. Congruence chews on the results for, well, less time than it would have taken you, but still an appreciable amount of time for her, a supercomputer. She says. Sola, have you been feeling not yourself lately? As if your thoughts and your reactions are more dramatic, even more so than usual? Well, now that you think about it. Obviously, we test for toxicity before we clear native plants for consumption, Congruence continues, but there are limitations. For example, accounting for the hormonal fluctuations of people undergoing puberty. Congruence explains that there seems to be a chemical in the pixie beans that hyperbonds to estrogen and testosterone, and that combination of molecules activates receptors in your brain way more than just the hormones alone. The chemical will build up over weeks first, then it's going to hit a flashpoint, and you look at the beans you've been munching all afternoon, all week. Uh-oh. You call your dad in to take a look over the findings. There's no way he mutters as he scrolls his holopalm, then he stops. Well, I'll be Gemini'd. How are you feeling, Sola? You look over from where you've been balancing a sample beaker on your forehead. The beaker slides off and you bounce it off your knee a few times before catching it. Then you burst out laughing for no reason at all. Your dad blinks at you. Well, that answers my question. We gotta stop eating those beans right now. Your dad looks distraught. Lulu is right, he says, collapsing in a nearby chair and rubbing his eyes. She didn't trust these things, but shit, she's gonna be pissed we don't have another successful food source. You look at him in shock. You hardly ever see him swear. It must be worse than you think. Your dad sits there in silence for a long time. My hormones ended. So, good news, my hormones did end, though. So. Fine, I'll lose kudos every day of my life. Good, but I did get a lot of them. Oh, Timmy, you've never gotten that event? You didn't know about the beans. You're just now learning about the beans. That gives you so many fucking kudos. I'm sorry, is that like a normal thing? Not really, I just did a really good job. I'm doing it again. Oh, they're revealed later, but you can discover it early? That's fun. No, it has to be this. 5, 5. And I could put 8. I could get very stressed. If I wanted to. Yeah, sure. Got a lot of kudos. Got really stressed out. It's okay. It's almost glow. So that's kind of terrifying to think about conceptually. But oh my god, my biology's going up so well. Okay, I'm brave. I have no empathy. And I love animals. And beating people to death. So how much is the, Ooh. Yay. Animal boy. Okay, let's do combat. Just get a little bit more in the animal department. And then we'll die. You've heard Security Chief Red is on the lookout for lookouts. That is, for kids to chill on top of the wall all afternoon and count Xenos. Sounds way better than going to class. He gives you a once-over, eyes narrowed. Alright, he says, look over there at the end of the field. What does that sign say? Read it out loud. You read the sign easily. It says, if you can read this, your eyesight's 20/20. Oh, what a weird sign. What does that mean? Rhett nods in approval. Good, you pass. Come back next month and I'll put you on the roster. Okay. Potential job unlocked. Card becomes 2. I fucking hate you and everything that you stand for, but alright, anybody out here doing some weird shit? Not particularly. Okay. Do combat training again then. Oh, lookout duty isn't a job, it's just a thing you can do. It gives you crazy high perception. And also animals. Let's do that. You show up bright and early for muster with the other garrison recruits. It's mostly younger people. The older, more experienced security officers are all posted up for guard duty. Nem is here, though, her rowdy red hair tied back into a poof. She shoots you a little grin as she falls in formation beside you. You shift from foot to foot awkwardly, not sure where to put your hands. Nem nudges you with her elbow and gestures that you should stand like her, with your hands clasped loosely behind your back. You manage that just as Security Chief Rhett comes to speak to the recruits. Good morning, recruits, he calls, his voice cutting through the still morning air. He pauses, looking at the assembled band of motley youth, and taps his ear. Salute him. Rhett crosses his arms. Well, we'll be working on that, he says. Working in the garrison isn't like other jobs, children. Here you'll be expected to give 100% every day. If you burn some food in the kitchen or shovel the wrong pile of dirt in geoponics, it's no big deal. But here it can be a matter of life or death. Not just for you, but for everyone in the colony. Loyalty, dedication, self-sacrifice, and honor, these are the soldier's creed, Rhett says, steely-gazed and even. You wonder how many battles he saw on Earth. Just like your mom, he doesn't like to talk about it. This is not a place for half-assed kids to run around and play soldier. You look around awkwardly at the other recruits. Isn't this a little intense for lookout duty? Rhett catches your attention, wavering, and speaks directly to you, staring you right in the eye. Laziness and ego have no place here, he says. If you slack off and let something slip past you, you could die. Your friends and family could die. This isn't school, he booms. This is real life, real danger. If you even blink too long, we're all dead. Blink challenge. It hurts your eyeballs, but you stare Rhett down until he actually laughs? Well, he cracks a smile anyway, and he looks away first. That's the spirit, Sola, he says, clapping you on the shoulder. I don't mean to scare you kids, he addresses. You know, with the whole everyone dying thing. But I really do need you to know this isn't a fun little game. You can't sneak your little friends into the watchtower. You can't work on your homework. You can't catch up on sleep. Even though lookout duty seems like an easy job for kids to do to keep busy, it's very important. I need you to take it seriously, like Sola here. Okay. I'll get stressed out, why not? I don't care. I don't want to lose kudos either, so fuck you, actually. Alright. Another year, another glow. Everyone's pretty sure there's going to be an attack this year, so the colony is on high alert. You're on duty when the attack starts. You're there alone when you see a mist or something approaching from the distance along the path that leads to the gates. You realize you're looking at what must be hundreds of Hop-Eyes coming at you! Hop-Eyes! So densely packed together they form a hopping, writhing blanket over the ground. It oozes towards you like a slow oil spill. Sound the alarm. Good thing you were here. There sure are a lot of them this year. As the Hop-Eye batter against the gates, you hear the wood starting to give, bending and creaking under the onslaught. You wonder if the security officers need help. Help defend the gates. You scramble down from the walls and are immediately faced with a seething wall of Hop-Eyes. You kind of thought there were only a handful of these usually peaceful creatures in previous years, but there's swarms of them now. And not just Hop-Eyes. Once your eyes adjust to the chaos, you can see large creatures that look like walking bushes, these wild centipede-looking things with long spider legs and at least one giant many-eyed thing that's hovering clear off the ground, defying gravity. They all seem to be incited into a frenzy, attacking everything in sight and trying to get through the walls. It's dark and chaotic. Com sees you through the fray. Sola, he shouts, get to safety! You're suddenly not sure this is a good idea, but then you look up and see Nem shouting encouragement from up on the wall. Fight tactically. Yeah, I'll fight tactically. You know, my boy? I want to impress my boy. 6. 6. 8. Wait. Okay, I can't do it in order. It doesn't matter. Big. Stop. I'm not done. Now I'm done. You're not even trying to win. There's too many of them and you're unarmed, but even your vulnerability can become a weapon. You use your knowledge of the buildings around the gate to bait anything that slipped past the defenders into the circling back so they can be picked off by people with actual weapons. Nem acts as your air support, calling out when certain shortcuts are blocked by the creatures so you always have an escape route. Eventually, the defense forces manage to push back at the creatures. The rest of their broken swarm flee back into the wilderness. Com jogs over to you, breathing heavily, and slaps you on the back. You're one brave kid, he says. Stupid, but brave. You really helped out back there. Nem whistles and hollers from the walls, and Com shoots her a grin. Your parents are arguing quietly at your little table. I'm telling you, it wasn't a fluke, your mom says. They're not just wild animals. They have a plan. The fields, the lights. Okay, your dad replies, taking her hands across the tabletop. We have to tell people what we saw in geoponics. They look up, noticing you in the doorway. Your dad's worried expression quickly changes to a smile. Hey, Rutabaga! What happened to the fields? Your mom stands up. Don't worry about that, she snaps. Go to bed, it's late, and we have a lot of work to do tomorrow to clean up. The way that mom... Oh my god, everyone grew up a little bit. Wait! Everyone grew up a little bit. Oh my god! Oh my god! Nim grabs you by the shoulders. Sola, you gotta help me, she says urgently. Mom keeps telling about how we're all gonna have to start having babies, and she gets this look about her. I don't want to have any skungy babies. Nim shudders with her whole body. Why I gotta be in a girl body anyway? I'm tougher and stronger than lots of boys, and no one's telling them they gotta have babies. It's true. Oh my god, your hair! Breaking a chemical bond both requires and releases energy. Whichever one is greater determines whether it is an exothermic or endothermic reaction, Tang says, tapping her fingers against the laboratory table. I wonder if there are any similar classifications for when bonds between family are broken, and new ones are created with others. She sighs. Chief Engineer Instance is the closest I have to what a family is supposed to be. Wow, you really don't like your brother, huh? Where is he? Oh my god. Oh, bud. No, he looks so sad. You catch just scrolling through his hollow palm. I used to watch a lot of videos, he says, frowning. I don't know why. It's all garbage. Who cares about this stuff? It's not real. This gesture to the wilderness. That's real. Everyone is cute. Hi, Cal. Oh my god, look at you. You spot Cal heading towards the barns at the far end of the farms. Hiya, Sola, he waves. What's going on? Oh, nothing, Cal sighs, just thinking about, well... He trails off and scuffs his foot in the dirt. I guess it's not like you can get me in trouble now, so yeah, I used to have a pet. She was like a little pink caterpillar. I called her Socks. She lived in a trunk up in the storage barn. Nobody knew. He scrubs the back of his arm over his face, but she didn't stay little forever. Eventually she got big, like real big, and I couldn't figure out what to feed her, so she ran away. Cal sighs and looks wistfully up at the sky. I just hope she's doing okay wherever she is. Yeah, me too, bud. Me too. Why did my headphones disconnect? Right here at the end of all things. Connect again. They said it's over. They said no sound. They said it's unacceptable for you to hear. Oh my god, look at her. Oh, hey, Sola, Marsa's breezing past you. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm on my way to work in command. She stops when you don't sound amazed enough. You know, the supply depot, she clarified. It's the most important job in the whole colony. Anything that gets made here goes through me first. Marsa's smug smile gets somehow even more smug. Plus, I get the first pick of all the best stuff. Wow, amazing. You lay it on really thick, how Mars is just so cool, how everything she does is totally great, and she's obviously the most important person in the colony. You're gonna start a Mars fan club in her honor. She just laughs. Nice try, Solo, but thanks for the compliments. Then she just leaves without even offering to help get you a job. Drat, sucking up to Mars didn't work. What's next, having to actually ask for what you want? Ugh, maybe you could ask again later. We're growing up. Everyone grew up, Becca. We're 14. Look at him. Look at the boy. Okay, yeah, I know I need to relax in the park. And then some Vertumnum bugs have moved into the garden. They're attracted to the smell of human sweat, apparently. People were worried at first, thinking they were dangerous, but it turns out they don't bite. They just scrape off a layer of dead skin. Okay, now people are just vaguely grossed out, which is a lot better. Sometimes you see Mars out here reading a holo magazine and letting the bugs crawl over her feet. She says it's like a spa treatment. You can feel your hot eye starting to trust you more. They're still pretty skittish and you don't want to see what those claws at the end of their foot can do, but they seem a lot more relaxed in your presence. You're petting it when it starts to chitter at you in agitation. Whoops, what's wrong, Sir Hops-a-Lot? It flips over onto its back and wiggles, its lighter stomach fur looking impossibly soft and enticing. Do you dare? Or is it a trap? Well, before I do this, let me try and connect my headphones again. Are we okay? Can we maybe get sound in the computer? It said no. Welcome to the silent video game. Sacrifice your hand for the creature. 58? 58. Okay. I don't know about that one. I don't know about 58, but I'm gonna trust my boy. 3355 4. Oh no. Well, no, I want this. And then... Or do I want this? It's very good and powerful and strong. And then also this. And then also this. Okay. Becca, thank you for coming. Thank you for wishing me luck with the creature. Have a good rest of your day. I love you. Oh, if it's in the first or last painting, you get 4. And then 4. And then... Oh, unchangeable. And then that. I win anyway. You're too smart to fall for this trick. After a few moments, Sir Hopslot seems to lose interest. They spot a bug circling lazily overhead and flip back over onto their foot, chittering as they begin to track it with their 4 blinking eyes. Yes! 2 of them! You haven't given up training Fluffy to follow simple commands. They clearly have the ability to understand that you're trying to communicate with them. There's just a huge language barrier. Cal gives you the idea to try clicker training, getting them to associate verbal commands with actions and rewards, using a clicking noise as positive reinforcement. Yes! Teach the creature to learn English, I think, is the solution. Alright, so that's 12. That's 15. It's immediately better, like a million times better. Oh, and then I can't fit that there, though. 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. What are they gonna do? Nothing. Becomes a 3, so it's like the worst day of my life, actually. 1, 2, wait. 0, 1, 2, 3. 6. Yes! Get him. Success. You use the clicking as a shared language, and Fluffy quickly begins to respond to your commands. By the end of the afternoon, you're getting pretty reliable results from both stay and follow. This is great! Riki must be more intelligent than people give them credit for. Maybe Riki will be the species that evolves to be codependent with humans, like dogs evolve from wolves. Fuck yeah! Do I want to forget Uncle Tona and the Manicore? Not really. Oh, it's my birthday. Look at this icon. How cute. It's your birthday. You wake from a night of blissfully peaceful dreams. No nightmares, no premonitions, just a pleasant feeling of contentment. You stretch your arms over your head, blinking in the watery, quiet sunlight that seeps through the porthole window. Things are always changing in Vertumna, but you can't help but feel like things are changing for yourself, too. Not just your body, but your mind, your emotions, your future. 14 is going to be your year. Your parents have been working around the clock since the last attack, trying to get the fields right again in time for this year's planting. Spark snow has already started falling, and every day they come home complaining about having to clear it. They asked you to ping them when you're awake so you can share birthday breakfast in your quarters instead of sitting shoulder to shoulder with everyone else during breakfast service in the canteen. You fire them a message and lie back in your bunk, watching dust motes float lazily in the light. After a minute, there's a knock at the door. It's Auntie Sedent! She sweeps into your room in a bustle of skirts and shawls and sits down beside you on the bunk. Oh, look at you, she says. Happy birthday, beautiful. 14 years old. She leans in and gives you a motherly kiss on the forehead. It's been years since she took care of you in the children's creche, but all the kids still call her Auntie and think of her as a close relative. Her sweet baking bread smell is as comforting as it ever was. She sits back and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Sola, ever since I held you in my arms as a baby, I knew you were so special, so important. You're becoming a young adult, but I want you to know I will always, always be here for you, just like your mom and dad, she says firmly. No, antecedents love, thanks. She smiles and tucks an unruly lock of your hair behind your ear. I guess you're old enough to call me Aunt Anne now if you like, or even just Anne. Now come in here, Aunt Anne says, spreading her arms wide. Give us a great big hug. You hug her, enveloping yourself in the warm and familiar softness of her. Over her shoulder, you see Nem standing in the doorway. Well, her hair anyway. She's been growing it out, and there's no hiding it behind a corner. She skips into your quarters. Happy birthday, bud, she says, bouncing on your bunk. Way to get older. Enjoy being 2 years older than me for a few months. Thanks. I thought you were on your way to medbay, Anne tells her, and Nem shrugs and turns to you. Annie's supposed to get her menstruation cessation implant today, she says. Tell me more? Mom, Nem hollers. Gross. Sola doesn't want to hear about my period. Anne smells fondly at her daughter. It's nothing to be ashamed of, Annie. Getting your period is a beautiful thing. It reminds us that we have the ability to make life. It's a sign you're growing up and becoming an adult and ready to take on the responsibility of taking care of that life. I love this. I know, I love this art. Oh my god, like the when they do the full screen backgrounds, everything is so beautiful. Nem wrinkles her nose and throws herself in the bed. I'm never making life. Ew, pass. Oh, flirt with anemone. Maybe one day the two of I'm not going to ask her to get pregnant. That's not gross-a-roni. Right, Nem agrees? She's always like this. You think this is bad? When I got my period, she made me a cake with a red gooey center that said, "Welcome to womanhood." She rolls her eyes. It's bad enough I, like, shot up overnight and got boobs. I want to cry all the time. She has to go around telling everyone, too. Ma'am, your parents finally arrived, still damp from the fields and bringing in the smell of crisp, tangy snow on their clothes. Oh, look, birthday visitors, your dad exclaims. Anne, are you staying for breakfast? Anne reaches into her bag and brings out a stack of tiffins. No, thank you, but I brought your order with me from the kitchen, seeing as I was stopping by. She pats your hand one more time. Happy birthday again, Sola. You'll always be my baby, even when you're all grown up. Your mom shakes her head as Anne and Nem leave. Oh, Anne, she laughs, sentimental to the core. She starts laying out the cutlery for breakfast. I don't know how the colony would manage without her in the children's creche, she says, and points a fork at you. Family's more than the people that birthed you, Sola, and don't you forget it. I won't forget it. Okay, now I do have to end the stream. I do have to save. Sir Hopsalot is here. We're overwriting it. We're saving. Alright. Going to the main menu with no sound or audio. Well, everybody, we did it. Start of year 14 is going to be our year, as we said. So get ready for that. I'm loving this game. I'll be back on Monday like normal. I'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific, like I always do. I always say maybe I'll stream on the weekend, and then I don't. So I don't want to say that and tease people. But, you know, I'll be back on Monday. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you for more trauma soon. And I love you all. Goodbye.